All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is Hour 1, Schaefer and Sliwa on a Friday afternoon. We've got a good show lined up. Kevin Acee is our Padres Insider. He'll join us at 4:30 in about 90 minutes as the Padres get ready for City Connect night number 1 in City Connect jerseys number 2. We're also going to be joined coming up in about 10 minutes, Alan, actually 3:15, by a forward for SDFC.
Let's go.
Lewis Morgan will join us at 3:15. Assuming the day hasn't gotten away from him, he'll join us coming up in 12 or 13 minutes.
Depends.
Probably been practicing.
Yeah.
Maybe having some lunch.
Yeah, some for,
right?
Everybody's on a different schedule. So
that's the thing.
The day can just get away.
Imagine if, now to the point we just had with Sammy.
Yeah.
Where Sammy does some work for you on your separate YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a great line like, hey, I was out late. Day got away from me. Great line. Imagine using that line
with Mary
in real world, but be in sports. Because there was a recent example. Was it Kansas City, Brent? Did you bring it up? There was a player for the Royals, the catcher. He just missed the game.
Mm-hmm.
It was just so rare in sports. It was like a day game, and he didn't make the ballpark, and he just overslept. Initially, is this guy alive? Is something wrong?
Yeah.
He just overslept. That is not a good.
Well, I mean,
it's hard to do that.
I got to be honest with you. Let's just say, how many days you get off? Because I know, can you have a sick day without actually calling work and telling me you had a sick day? They got away from him. And I think for a lot of us here,
that line.
No, the line is phenomenal.
Unbelievable.
The only problem is I want somebody who has a family and 3 children to say the day got away with me. I don't want Sammy saying
at 2 a.m.
at 22 years old, the day got away from me. The day got away from me.
I love that. All right. So last night at Petco Park, is all of a sudden the Padres, do I have this right? They've won 5 of 6?
Since they lost that first game to the Red Sox,
they're 5-1.
They won 2,
lost 1 to Skeens. So they're 5 and 6.
5 and 6.
And now all of a sudden it's that tonight's the look good, feel good night where it's we have new uniforms. Or we're going to play well because we're in new uniforms. But this is how it played out last night. This was not on my bingo card.
By the way, very frustrating game watching.
It was very frustrating.
Oh my God. And that game was a little frustrating.
Down to a foul out the inning prior, Luis Campusano comes through with a base hit to extend the game.
That's right.
And then of all people, it's Xander Bogaerts, the bases loaded, and this is what played out last night.
Bogey to deep left field! It's back! Slammed the inning, got to walk it off! Bogey goes boom! Into a sea of San Diegans! Padres win at 12! In fantastic fashion for the faithful!
So after that, all forgiven, right? Xander's 280, all good. First 3 years, water under the bridge. He walked off against the Rockies. All's forgiven, right?
Okay, 2 things here. There's a lot of layers to this. First off, let me just say, Don Orsillo's call.
Yeah.
One of the beauties with Twitter, as much as Twitter can be just a toxic environment, Twitter's also good for this. Instantly, people are posting the grand slam and this call that we just had, and Orsillo's doing his thing. Do you know how much better that moment becomes when your broadcaster nails the call?
That's great.
The call is phenomenal. And the expression is phenomenal. And it goes perfect with the vibe of the stadium and Xander hitting a grand slam and his iconic slam Diego, all that stuff. So I don't want that to get lost because I think his call was a perfect match for that moment with Xander.
Sure.
Now, here's a question I have for you on Xander, because you just said he's all good now. He just made up the 280.
100%.
There's
never been a bigger moment in baseball history than what played out last night, right?
I've had an issue. I've told you this for a couple of years.
Okay.
I really would like to buy a Xander jersey.
Really?
I would.
Get the City Connect.
Well, let me explain this to you, because in life you can make good investments, you can make bad investments.
Right.
Xander, if I bought it a couple years ago, not the best investment.
Sure.
So now I'm it would have to be just a real leap of faith. As much as everybody was going crazy about Xander yesterday, which they should, it was awesome, cool moment. Finally, he has, just of course, it's not a signature game. It's April 10th or April 9th last night against the Colorado Rockies. It was a really cool moment from him. Am I asking for too much to not make too big of a deal about Xander having that moment yesterday. And I'm not saying you need to have a grand slam and lead the Padres in home runs and RBIs. Can you have a decent season this year? Can we just have a decent season from Xander Bogaerts this year? All we talk about is Machado and Tatis and all these other players that aren't living up to this, that. Where's their slug? Where's that? That conversation, you told me everyone's just tired of saying it was Xander, so it just went away. I want to give Xander as much credit as possible for what he did last night. Can we just see some consistency from Xander Bogaerts? Are we asking for too much?
There's like a saying, I'll give you an example. Our former program director, my former program director here, Brian Long, no relation actually related to Sammy Long, but he would say like, and here's the thing with like my Xander analogy. He'd be like, when it came to a radio show, hit singles. You want to be consistent because it's great to hit a home run, but what about the day you go 0 for 4? Well, 0 for 4 doesn't feel that good, and a home run feels really good. To your listener, to your audience, you want to provide consistency. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to do your show to the best of your ability every single day. But it doesn't, if every day is the best show ever, that's not possible, right?
How'd we do it then? How did you and I do that? How have we done it the last 7 shows?
But so that's what I would say with Xander. I love the moment last night's great. I don't want to take any of that away. He deserves credit for it. It was a big moment because you don't want to lose the opening game of that series to the Rockies. And he came through in a big spot. Credit to him. Came through last week against Paul Skeens. Credit to him. What I want to see out of Xander is nothing more than a solid, consistent season. If it has moments like last night, unbelievable. And of course, there'll be low points because he's a human being. I won't hold him to some ridiculous standard. But if I can look up and it's 294 and it's 22 homers and it's 83 RBIs and it's a 795 OPS, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know what the indicators are, but that's what I'm looking for out of Xander Bogaerts, a level of consistency that, in my opinion, he has failed to show in a Padres uniform to this point.
I think the part of you don't want to have unrealistic expectations for Xander. Why can't we have realistic expectations? What you just said
I think
should be realistic.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only point. I think that's the frustration with everybody. Nobody's asking Xander Bogaerts. And maybe, listen, when he originally got signed to the Padres, there was this like, this dude's going to ball out.
Yep.
And by the way, the 280, it's like, I don't think anybody ever felt good about the 280, but you just felt you're going to get 5-6 solid years from Xander Bogaerts before that starts to decline, not when he just gets here. What you just said about just be consistent and get me base hits, because doubles will come when you're trying to get base hits. Home runs, you'll lean into one on a home run just because you're trying to get base hits. I don't think that's too much to ask for. And I don't think if there's ever a day to highlight Xander Bogaerts for what he did yesterday, I do think it's also fair to stop and pause and hope that this man is held accountable for not doing what he's done in the first 3 years. That's a fair statement there. I don't think anybody's being unrealistic. I want to give him credit too. We will give him credit for what he accomplished, but I also got to be critical about Xander Bogaerts. He's got to be more of a figure on this team, and he hasn't been.
Yeah, like I don't know if today is the day to be like, hey, Xander, do more, but every day kind of is.
But you know why it is, John? Is because there's a lot of attention towards him today.
Yeah,
a
lot of.
Why am I? When do you want me to do it? When he's struggling and other people are mentioning, well, Machado or Tatis doesn't have a home run yet. Machado's average is low. I agree. I'm not saying you. I'm the same way. I mean, if anything, I've been as critical as most when it comes to Xander Bogaerts. Listen, and I will recognize he's had moments in time in a Padres uniform, like any player that plays every day has. I mean, he's had months. He's probably even had half seasons. But here's the thing: there's Boston Xander. The numbers will bear this out, and there's San Diego Xander. And I recognize he's probably not going to be Boston Xander. Should he be held to that standard? That's fine. That's probably another conversation. I'm just saying. You got to be between those two players. You can't be San Diego Xander. 1,000%.
You can't be Boston Xander because he's older. I want to see the middle ground. That's my consistent player.
But I think that's a fair evaluation. Yeah. I think that's realistic. I think he can actually, the hope is that he accomplishes that. It's not the feeling that I want to have, but I do. When Xander hits that grand slam yesterday, the only thing going through my mind is like, man, how amazing would it be that he goes through a full season with the San Diego Padres where I think the numbers that you said, 80-ish RBIs,
Close
20 to
800,
25 home runs, somewhere in that
Yep.
range.
800 OPS. Which he was
Batting
over
average
in
around
Boston.
270, 280. I think that as much as we want to talk about the other big players, we have to also hold this man accountable. I love what you said. You don't got to be the Red Sox, Xander Bogaerts,
Yep.
but you can't be the San Diego Padre, Xander Bogaerts, over the last 3 years.
Let's take an early break because Lewis Morgan, SDFC forward, who was recently acquired this past offseason from the New York Red Bulls, he'll join us on the other side because SDFC is playing tomorrow night, a match you can hear right here on San Diego Sports 760. We'll get back to the Padres. Kevin Acee, our insider, on the show coming up at 4:30. This is Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey guys, it is Schaefer again for our friends at the all-new Humul Casino Resort, the Players Place, and you're going to love, absolutely love the hotel and spa at Humul. You can experience elevated luxury. They've got a refined hotel stay for you, rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Humul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. You can take your stay to the next level with exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape. Make sure to swing by Tony Gwynn's for endless dining. Enjoy San Diego's favorite endless dining experience Wednesday through Sunday at Tony Gwynn's Sports Pub. And in addition, you'll absolutely love Humul 23 with their lobster buffet each and every day. You can enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. Start your morning with their new signature breakfast buffet Monday through Friday, 8 to 10:30, featuring made-to-order omelets, fresh fruit, and sweet and savory favorites at the all-new Humul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, back with you on San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee is our Padres Insider. He'll join us coming up at 4:30, but great to connect right now with SDFC forward Lewis Morgan. SDFC back home tomorrow night, taking on Minnesota United at 7:30. You can hear the match right here on your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. So first of all, Lewis, we appreciate you taking time for us. What's this adjustment been like for you? All those years with the Red Bulls, your first season with SDFC, what's the process been like? And thanks for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I mean, anytime you change club, I've been fortunate enough to have a long enough career where it's not the first time I've changed club. And I think as players, we just get excited, to move somewhere else and sort of lights that fire under you again to try and prove a point somewhere. And obviously San Diego is an amazing landing spot for me, and I'm looking forward to continuing to get my feet under me and try to do great things for this great club.
Lewis, I'm sure the adjustment of living in San Diego, pretty tough to enjoy the city here.
Yeah.
I'm sure that one's been very difficult. I get your thoughts on a couple of things here. Just your overall thoughts on how the season has started for SDFC, some of the things that you like, some of the different areas that you feel like the team can improve on. What's your overall thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we fortunately enough we're competing on a couple of fronts, obviously with league play and then CONCACAF, and I think we've had loads of things that we can build on, and we obviously progressed through that first round in CONCACAF, which was a huge achievement for the club. And looking at it now, of course, we would like to have gone further, but we're testing ourselves at the highest level. And I think in terms of league play, we're obviously hoping to bounce back tomorrow and get a win in our home stadium. We've started off really well, and then it's no secret that the last few results haven't really gone the way we've wanted. But with our style of football, we know that if we can put together a complete game, then we can beat any team in the league. And tomorrow we're hoping to do that at home in front of our fans.
Quick follow up on that, the CONCACAF that you were mentioning here. Just how does that help to get that experience? How does it hurt in the sense that you guys you're playing, and I think it was 1 week, you guys had 3 games in a week, and what are some of the benefits and what are the things that hurt to be a part of that tournament during the season?
Yeah, I mean, benefit wise, obviously testing yourself and testing the team at the highest level possible, and our region playing in the CONCACAF is the toughest competition. You're playing the best of the best, so I think as players it's always enjoyable to play in those environments, play outside your comfort zone, and travel down to Toluca, travel to Pumas away, and play against really top teams. Take some learning moments from those, and we've done several things really well in those games. And of course, you could then say you play a number of games. Does that catch up with you? But I think early on in the season, every team's trying to find that rhythm, and we're no different. I don't think it really hurt us as much, but I do think it's important that we try and bounce back and get back to playing our football, and that starts tomorrow night.
Yeah, SDFC forward Lewis Morgan with us right now. They're hosting Minnesota United tomorrow at 7:30. Pre-match coverage right here on 760 will begin at 7 p.m. I guess my question would be, because just looking at some of the recent history of your career, you've had a lot of success, but you've also dealt with injuries as well, including last year. So how's your fitness and your health as you begin this process of 2026?
Yeah, obviously that's, every player's worst nightmare is dealing with injuries. And I've been relatively injury-free my full career, but it's no secret that the 2 of the last 3 years I've struggled with some injuries and some surgeries. And I think from a fitness point of view, I'm definitely building that in the match fitness, but I'm also impatient with myself and know that I really want to start contributing goals and assists for this team, and it's a big pressure I put on myself. But I think all I can really control is the day-to-day and training hard and trying to make the most of the minutes I get when I'm on the pitch, and I think that rhythm will start to come back. I've been out for a year, so sometimes I try and give myself a little bit of grace, but I'm my own worst critic. So from a fitness point of view, there'll never be any excuses for myself. It's just time to start delivering, really.
SDFC forward Lewis Morgan joining us here on Schaefer and Sliwa. SDFC hosting Minnesota United coming up tomorrow at 7:30 at Snapdragon Stadium. Lewis, I'm curious, just from afar, last season is SDFC's first year in the MLS. And from your perspective, just kind of as an outsider, what did you make of just their first year, the run that they had? And what's your experience been like so far being a part of a city that loves soccer, that is hungry for a potential championship? Obviously, you've probably heard enough of that in the city of San Diego. Just what was it like watching this expansion team last season have that type of success, and what's been the experience so far being a part of SDFC?
Yeah, I don't think you can understate the success the team had last year. I know from personal experience how tough it is to play in an expansion team. I've done so with Miami, and what the guys at San Diego have been able to build in such a short space of time is remarkable. And like you say, the crowd fully bought in. They play a huge part as well, from watching games last year. It's almost like having a 12th man. All the fans that turn out at Snapdragon Stadium, and I think they're right to be excited and try and dream of championships coming to this city. And that's what us as players and coaching staff and the full club has got our eye on. So, to come into a group like this, it doesn't feel like it's an expansion team. It's got culture. It's got a winning culture. They're developing everything. And really, really impressive setup.
Did you ever envision this? I mean, you grow up in Scotland, you play professionally, correct me if I'm wrong, for a period of time as well in Europe and in Scotland, and then you end up spending, a good bulk of your career in Major League Soccer. I mean, was that always kind of part of the plan, or what is it like being a professional soccer or football player and all the twists and turns that present themselves over the course of time?
I mean, I don't think as football or soccer players, as you would call it, I don't think we really have the luxury of really planning anything. It's just about playing and performing at whatever club you're at, and then throughout your career, some moves or potential transfers come across your table and you deal with them when they come. And I think it wasn't something that was at the forefront of my mind, but when I got the opportunity to come out to MLS with Inter Miami, it was an extremely exciting project. I've done so, and then I've never really looked back. I've really enjoyed my time in MLS, and it's definitely a move that I'm happy I made all those years ago.
Final one for me here. I'm curious to just, big picture, MLS just in general. How is the health of the MLS? Just seeing, obviously, to have Lionel Messi, and I know it's not just him, but to have Messi a part of the MLS, and it seems like that the sport really is growing from, you can say, in this country, but from a global perspective as well. It feels like the MLS they got their hands in the mix, and that's probably all you can ask for. We know just how great soccer is in other parts of the world. What has been your thoughts of where MLS is today, and where you think it's going to be in the next 10, 15 years?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're when you talk about leagues and what leagues people are talking about, I think the MLS is right up there with some of the global leagues. Of course, you've got the top 5 leagues in Europe, but beyond that, I feel like our league here and the exposure we get is as good as anywhere else. And I think the standard from when I came in 2020, the standard of player from then until now is, again, really remarkable. The strides that the league's taken every year. I would say the vast majority of owners are very, very ambitious and want to bring the best soccer, the best football to their respective cities. And I think, obviously, when you said his name there, when you bring someone like Messi to the league, I think that also expands teams' ambition even further. Not just Miami, but all the teams that are wanting to compete and not take advantage of him being in the league. But of course, when you have a superstar like that, you want to put your club at the forefront when there maybe is a few more eyes on the league now. And I think especially with the World Cup coming, the league's just in a really, really healthy, good spot. And I think, of course, it's well known that we're going to be shifting to a schedule that matches that of most of world football. And I think from there, it just, again, builds the basis for a really, really strong league here to continue to grow and develop. And I think it's really exciting, soccer in this country, and hopefully the World Cup kicks that on even more and gets more people to join at grassroots level and more kids to get involved and develop playing the sport that we love.
Great insight. Appreciate you taking time for us. Again, SDFC forward Lewis Morgan. They're back in action tomorrow night against Minnesota United at Snapdragon Stadium at 7:30. You can hear it right here on 760, or hopefully make it out there to Snapdragon this weekend. Lewis, thanks so much for doing it.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, great stuff. All right, on the other side, let's turn our attention back to the Padres.
Wish I had an accent like that, man.
You could.
Man, that's amazing.
You could. There's actually more we could have gotten into with them, but we're up against it. But like Scotland's in the World Cup, for example, the weather here is better than Scotland, but I want to know if he feels that same way.
Yeah.
Next time.
Next time.
Lewis Morgan
We'll get him
on the
back
show.
on.
We'll get back to the Padres. Expectations for Walker Buehler tonight as the Padres debut their City Connect jerseys for a first time as well. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Unbound.org. Padres and Rockies are getting set for game 2 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be the debut of the new City Connect uniforms for the Padres. It's going to be Tomoyuki Sagano pitching for the Rockies, and Walker Buehler is going to be on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 6:40. Tomorrow night, we got San Diego FC is returning to Snapdragon Stadium to take on the Minnesota United. Darren and Adrian will have all your coverage beginning at 7 o'clock. And tonight, the Lakers are taking on the Suns. Our pregame coverage right here will begin at 7:15, and we'll have the tip at 7:30. Right now, there are young people across the world facing the tough choice: continue the dream of education or drop out to help family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30. Good to connect with Lewis Morgan, SDFC forward. They're playing tomorrow night here on 760.
Let's go get a W. What's going on here lately?
It was interesting because off air, I was like, or I actually think I said it on air. I'm like, hey, I wonder what he thinks. San Diego, he grew up in Scotland. The weather's in the 40s. Here it's in the 70s. And I don't know how we got there. But then off air, I was like, I have a dumb question for you.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking about San Diego. And because Alan grew up here and he grew up in El Cajon. And I was like, what are the names? What's the name of the high school in El Cajon? El Cajon. He's like, what are you talking about? But he's telling me there's multiple high schools.
There's multiple high schools.
But then he's like,
because the question is, have you ever been to El Cajon?
Well, I need you to show me around El Cajon. I don't know if I've been there. When I get there, I'll see if I recognize it.
Gotcha.
Would I be there for, is there a Liberty Bell there? What's the reason to go? Is the Eiffel Tower there? Is there an iconic food establishment?
Yeah. Listen, let's not get into all the details of what it's known for. It's just a very critical, important city to San Diego. There's a lot of El Cajonians down there.
Is that what you're called if you're from El Cajon?
No. By the way, no. El Cajon's got some good spots. Go a little bit further east. Go to Alpine is beautiful. Santee is huge. It's got everything. We got to take you to East County, man.
How far is El Cajon from where
we
here?
Are?
Right here.
Nothing.
Nothing?
17, 18 minutes. Nothing.
Why don't we do a live remote from your childhood home?
Technically, we can.
We could.
That's actually
really
not a problem at all. My mom would probably cook some good home cooking Middle Eastern food.
Your parents are in your childhood home?
My mom.
Your mom's in your childhood home?
Yep.
Okay, so we could, perfect.
Plenty of space.
She's going to, all right. Now I want to, you got to show me around. You'll show me around in the morning. Can we fit it all into one day, or do we need to do multiple days in El Cajon?
El Cajon's it's almost like going to Europe. You need about 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So for 3 weeks, we'll get an Airbnb out there.
Perfect. And we'll do shows.
Tell your wife, tell your son, I'll see you in 3 weeks. The day got away.
The day got away from me. The week got away from me.
Yeah, we'll do that. By the way, there's going to come a time. Let's just kind of get get settled in here. But there's going to be times where we got to go explore a little bit.
We need to get out.
I want some Chula Vista action.
I agree with you.
I want some, like I said, El Cajon, some Alpine, maybe some places in North County. We go do a little Padre viewing party. We can make it happen. We got to do that kind of stuff.
I like it. Okay, switching gears, where Kevin Acee again will join us in 55 minutes. Padres tonight, all the attention, as we said yesterday, is on their uniform, right? They got this new uniform. We were going to touch on this later. I'll mention it now. It's on my mind. They had the highest one-day merchandise, the most merchandise sold ever at Petco Park in a day, as I try to say this the right way, and then they've ever had. Not only was it the most merchandise they've ever sold in sales, 1.1 million, it was twice as much as what they sold.
You're right. It was like 5.5
for the record day, which is 550,000 opening day 2023. So people are enamored with this. So that's one part of the story. The other part of the story is Walker Buehler will make his third start.
Yep.
And the first two have not gone well.
All right, let me just go back to the City Connect 2.0, and then we'll talk Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how you and Annie yesterday, Annie joined the show, and you guys both said, nobody was crazy about him. You guys didn't hate him.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that's
I did
my
the
point.
Manny line.
Yeah, that was Manny.
It's all right.
When Manny basically said that, hey, how's the new show? How's Schaefer?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. So I just go back to that because the more that I seen on social with the City Connects 2.0, the more I freaking love them.
Oh, really?
I'm telling you, I'm telling you when I say this, I'm not a jersey guy. I'm not this just came out, I got to go get it. I love the City Connect 2.0. I love just like the marketing of the way they're doing it. Eric Grupner, who's the CEO of the Padres, went on yesterday during the broadcast. He talked a little bit about it as well. They shattered, like you said, I think 5.5 or 550,000 was their opening day for the City Connect, and they doubled that yesterday when they opened doors. I think that's the proper way to put it.
550 was their opening day sales in 2023.
Yes.
And that was the most they'd ever done. Oh, was that City Connect?
I think, or no, that's probably too far back. Is that
No,
too far back?
2023 is when they did it. It's
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 3 years. You're right.
Okay.
And they doubled it. And guess what they're going to do tonight, Alan? They're going to do $1 million in sales.
Freaking crush it.
Right.
I'm a big fan. I love them. I really do. Okay. And now here's the beauty of it. We can look at Walker Buehler and those beautiful jerseys and say, damn, he shoved tonight. Or we could do what I think is a little bit more expected with Walker Buehler. Has anything that he's done so far this season surprised you of his first 2 starts?
No, remember my line from 2 weeks ago. Like, I don't have expectations for Walker Buehler, which was me saying, like, I'm not expecting much of Buehler. And I mentioned something to you earlier when we spoke today, which is like, typically over the course of a baseball season, there's 1 or 2 players that start the year on a roster. And then 4 months later, you're like, oh, remember when Walker Buehler was on the team? I hope that's not him.
I was going to say, do you think that happens to him?
No, I don't know. But out of Buehler and Marquez, it's a possibility. I want to see more because he hasn't made it out of what, a 3rd or 4th inning so far? He went 2 2/3 right one of the games.
I had the stats here in front of me. And then, as we are so prepared together, here's what he did.
We're pretty prepared.
He went 4 innings in his first start against the Giants.
And then what, 2 2/3?
And then went 2 2/3.
Yeah. So he's thrown 6 2/3 innings.
I think, my take on Walker Buehler is any success that he has, I'll be a little surprised by it. Marquez as well. I mean, Marquez's last start, I was surprised by it.
Right.
And maybe there's something to he was tipping pitches or he just pitches really good in Pittsburgh. I don't know. We'll wait to see another one of his starts. But I really like to see, and I think everybody would, Walker Buehler, for him personally, just how good of a pitcher he was at obviously a stage of his career and has gone through so many different injuries and trying to resurrect his career with the Padres. And San Diego's not asking him to be the ace. They're not asking him to be the second best pitcher or the third best pitcher. They're really just asking him, can you give us some innings? And he hasn't been able to do that consistently. So back to what we said in the beginning, any success he has as he pitches tonight against the Rockies, I'm surprised by. But if there's ever a circumstance that can work in his way, it's going to be a great vibe tonight. The energy is going to be great. You did end up winning that game against the Rockies. You're not playing the Philadelphia Phillies or the Dodgers or something like that. Hopefully you can get on track.
Yeah, I would agree with that in general. And listen, they're 7-6 overall and they haven't hit. When you take a step back and you think about where they are, not to mention the fact that while Walker Buehler starts the year in the rotation, there's reasons to believe they'll have other options as soon as the next handful of weeks, whether it's Griffin Canning, who's a possibility in the rotation, maybe longer than that, someone like Joe Musgrove. Again, maybe that's wishful to some extent. But it's not like just because you start the year with this set of 5,
sure,
this is what's going to take place even next month. Matt Waldron has thrown very well in AAA. I think 12 scoreless innings so far this year. So I guess my point is actually this. I'm not overly worried. Most teams have a starter in the rotation that is not reliable. And I'm not yet saying that's Walker Buehler, although he hasn't been reliable. But that's only 20% of the games you're playing. If you've got 4 good starters, you can navigate your way to a good season. Would you prefer 5 good starters? Of course you would. Now, the Padres, you could argue that they don't have 4 good starters.
I was going to say, we don't know about 4.
But you see my point. As in, I think it can be overcome. But yes, I think the Buehler-Marquez conversation is probably going to be one we're having for a long time until there's a model of consistency or until they have other options.
I think when the season started, there was, all right, Pivetta struggled a little bit.
Right.
Michael King, it feels like he's back on track, so great to see that. Randy Vasquez, we didn't talk enough about him yesterday, though. Vasquez's start was kind of lost because of Xander's grand slam in the game last night to win it for the Padres 7-3. But you at least have 3, I would say, reliable starters.
Right.
And now the question is going to be, can one of these 2 other guys for the time being start giving you a little bit more confidence? You just want to be in games. That's all. What you don't want is 2 2/3 and you're giving up 4.
Right.
That's the game they had. I think against the Red Sox, Padres ended up coming back and winning that game. One of the more gutsy wins that they had this season.
Yep.
Okay, let me throw a scenario your way.
I'm ready.
What's a not great but a good start for Walker Buehler tonight?
5 innings, 3 runs.
Yeah, I would say even 4 innings,
3 runs. 4+ innings, 3 runs or fewer.
Yeah,
4+ innings, 3 runs or fewer.
Probably
I'd
a
probably
lot.
sign up for that.
Probably a little bit a lot on that one. As in, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that that's where we are on Buehler.
Yeah,
right?
4 or 5
Nobody's
innings.
asking for
7 innings of 2-hit, 1-run baseball.
not that. Yeah,
but if you can go 4 2/3 innings, allow 2 runs, you'll have a chance to win this game tonight. I'd like to think potentially.
Against
Colorado.
Did you were you just assuming they were going to lose that game yesterday?
No, until I was, if that makes sense. It's like they didn't take advantage of Colorado miscues. There were two awful errors in the same inning. They didn't score. And then all of a sudden, the Rockies are up a run with 2 outs in whatever inning, the 11th inning. I'm like, well, I guess they're going to win this game. And Luis Campusano, to his credit,
Clutch.
maligned.
Yeah, that was
a lot like Xander Bogaerts. It was the malign players. Campusano, again, different circumstance. He's not making $200 million.
Yeah.
And then Xander Bogaerts. I like to see it because, again, it does take a team. We spend so much time talking about Machado or Tatis. It takes a team to win over 162, and that's what played out yesterday.
Yeah, it was a frustrating game to watch. I got 2 screens going. I'm watching the Laker game too. I got the Padre game going on as well. And there's certain games, there's a vibe to. I'm like, yeah, they're losing this game. Like you said, whether they had opportunities or miscues from Colorado that they don't capitalize on. Rockies go up 2-1. Rockies go up 3-2. It felt like one of those L's coming. So shout out to them for making it happen.
And they snapped Colorado's 4-game win streak in the process as well. All right. On the other side, the wrap is coming up at 4 p.m. We'll tell you about our giveaways today. Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. We'll hear from Fernando Tatis Jr. at some point as well this afternoon. He has spoken in the clubhouse. We'll hear from Craig Stammen, hopefully with his pregame comments as well coming up. Stay with us on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Schaefer and Sliwa. And we do want to remind you that SDFC back home at Snapdragon tomorrow night will take on Minnesota United. Pregame coverage with Adrian Garcia Marquez, Darren Smith at 7 p.m. right here in your home for SDFC, San Diego Sports 760. We'll hear from Kevin Acee coming up at 4:30. We'll get to the wrap at 4 p.m. And you will hear coming up as well, with all the excitement of Don Orsillo's call that you were talking about. I've always said Don is a big game caller, and his calls are big. It's really a credit to him. I mean, there's a reason he's been doing it for 25 years.
Yeah.
He is a big game caller, and he's got big calls within a game. It's just who he's just
takes it to another level. I'm with
like
you on
his
that.
voice. I mean, there's a reason he's been doing it this long. And then there's the Rockies call, which we'll hear coming up, which is the opposite. As you'd expect, it wouldn't be the exact same.
Imagine if he had the same energy as Orsillo calling the Rockies losing 7-3.
This is incredible.
I would have never imagined this.
Yeah. And did you see the note last night, by the way, that this is the first time in baseball history a team has ever scored 4 runs in an inning on 3 pitches or fewer? Now, the caveat is they put a dude on second base automatically. It went
and then
dude
they
on
walked.
second, intentional walk, followed by the second pitch to Bogaerts.
0-1 to Bogaerts.
Right. So the first pitch of the inning.
I think the first.
They already tied the score. They already tied it because they were trailing heading into the inning. Correct?
Yeah, they were.
No,
trailing.
it was 3-3. No, they weren't.
No, it was. Oh no, that's right. Because Rockies didn't score. I think Cronenworth threw it at home. Got the
right.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. But I'm trying to remember the first pitch of the inning. Neither here nor there. They went intentional walk. Oh,
a bunt? Was there a bunt?
Yes, it was a bunt. That was the first out.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was very well
done. I think it was Tatis.
His second career sacrifice bunt.
There you go.
He spoke earlier today, and maybe we'll be able to bring you the sound at some point, about being in this season starting slump. And he's aware of it. Again, 5 years ago, Tatis is not bunting in a 3-3 game with a runner at second, right? Like, probably not. The circumstance calls for the bunt.
Yeah, this one, it's okay. This
100% okay. 100% okay. But again, there's certain players like Aaron Judge is not bunting in that spot, even last night. And I think Tatis, in his complete best season, he's probably not bunting in that spot. But credit to him for getting the job done.
I will tell you, and there is kind of this like psychological part. I asked Annie yesterday when she was on of when things are going well, is his vibe different when things aren't going well? I think Manny Machado, I don't think I could tell whether Manny just hit a walk-off 2-run homer or if he struck out 4 times that game. What I mean by that, Machado might be a little bit more chippy, things like that, but I can tell so easily if Fernando Tatis is cooking or if he's not.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think that's, a part of, I don't know what the solution is for him. I really don't. But doesn't it just feel like, Tatis, relax? Like, it's not that the world's not going to end. Just have your own confidence that your skill set is going to get you out of whatever slump that you're in. And sometimes it feels like it's just as much mental. He's like swinging at pitches that he feels like he has no shot at, rather than I'm confident in the plate no matter what.
And here's the amazing thing about Tatis, what I've noticed over the last 4 seasons, if you include this year as one of those 4, is everyone's got an opinion on Tatis's struggles, yet it's so hard to pinpoint. I would imagine that's even the case for him, where it's like, is it physical based on the injuries that he's dealt with? Is it mental? Is it changing hitting coaches? There's so many
that could be the
off field. You know what I mean? Like there's always something.
Anything that you do, the more you think about how to do it, the tougher it is.
Exactly.
So I think maybe even for him, a lot of times it could be overthinking.
Right.
It could be, well, this guy told me this, so I got to work on that. Or this person said, mentally, I got to look at it this way. Where now all of a sudden you're not in your Zen state of like the best version of yourself is the less you think is usually going to be the better version of yourself.
See ball, hit ball.
There you go. And I think with Tatis, that part's he's not the only star to run into something like this. You obviously got a lot of players that run into it, but a lot of times you look at Tatis, I'm like, just have the utmost confidence in yourself. It's going to work out. And I don't know if he has that a lot of times when he walks up to the plate.
Completely agree. And listen, is 13 games a season where it's like, well, now we can't hit this many home runs or now we can't do this? No, it's not, because things can change very quickly. But there is a part of me that's like, I'm waiting for, okay, so I'm going to say that now after 14 games potentially, and then 15. At what point do you look up and say, what is going on here? And I don't know the point, is my point.
I think we're kind of there.
Yeah,
but
potentially.
But not an overreaction, but of like, hey, what's going on over there? And I'll tell you why. There was a time where Tatis was arguably the face of Major League Baseball, one of the faces, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 2021.
I think everybody around San Diego, I remember this. I mean, he kind of took the city, basically just grabbed the city. Is like, this city is mine when it comes to sports in San Diego. You still feel that same? Do you have? If you have that feeling of he can potentially get back to that, it's not because of what he's done this year or the year prior. It's more of what's in the rear view mirror. So anytime anybody does something that was in the past, you always got this hope of they're going to be able to do it in the present or the future.
Yeah, I think he can do it for a month. For me, he's got to prove it that he can do it for a year. Last April, for example, listen to this as we sit here in the middle of April, 13 games into the year. Last April, do you know what Tatis hit at the end of April? 345.
Yeah, he balled out.
With a 602 slugging percentage. He had 8 home runs at the end of April. Fast forward a year, and obviously he hasn't hit a home run as of yet. He's not hitting anywhere near 345.
But he did bunt.
But he did have a good bunt.
Did you hear me, Brent? Phenomenal bunt.
He had a great bunt. But here's the thing. Even Tatis last year in April, as good as he wasn't that player last year. He was for a month. I think he'll be that player again for a month. Maybe he can put 2 months together. Can he put 5 or 6 months together? And there's a lot of reasons to believe he can't. Unfortunately, there's a ton of reasons to believe he cannot be that player. He's 27 years old, and he should be doing it right now.
Of course.
And
this is your.
It's like age 27 season is, for a lot of stars in the history of the game, one of their best seasons.
Well, I think part of the beauty of when you say he's 27 years old, let's just say hypothetically, he started grooving.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a month. It wasn't 2 months. And it wasn't 3 months. That's going to be one of those players where you're like, yeah, that's Fernando Tatis Jr. As in, if there's any player in baseball that's got the potential of being what he once was, Tatis is one of those guys.
Yeah, I would agree.
But I'm with you on, I need to see a longer stretch in order to believe that you still got it.
Yeah.
That you still got it for a long stretch.
Give me a half a year. Right now, that's what I'm asking for. I'm not even asking for a full year. I don't know how realistic a full year is. I want to see an 80-game stretch where he's capable of hitting 20 home runs and having a 1,000 OPS. I don't know if that's going to happen again or not, but I'm hopeful. All right, we'll get to the wrap coming up. Kevin Acee will join us at 4:30. We're here until 6. We've got tickets to give away to see Pink. We've got tickets to give away to go to Sesame Place. So we'll do those giveaways in the 4 and 5 o'clock hours. Stay with us. This is Schaefer and Sliwa on San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Padres and the Rockies are getting set for game 2 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It is going to be the debut of the new City Connects for the Padres. Pitching wise, it's going to be Tomoyuki Sagano going for Colorado and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 6:40. Tomorrow night, San Diego FC is back at Snapdragon Stadium to take on the Minnesota United. You can hear pregame coverage with Darren and Adrian beginning at 7:00. And tonight we've got Lakers basketball on San Diego Sports 760 when the team takes on the Suns. Pregame coverage starts at 7:15 with a tip at 7:30. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more at crohnscolitisfoundation.org.
All right, hour 2 on this Friday afternoon. John Schaefer, Alan Sliwa. We call it Schaefer and Sliwa. Kevin Acee will join us in 30 minutes. We'll get to the wrap. There's a couple of things I wanted to share with everyone, both our listeners and Alan and Brent. There are 600,000 people watching NASA's coverage right now on YouTube of the return of these spacemen or whatever they are. Rocket people, the astronauts.
We should have done a collab with them for the show.
That would have been huge for us because we're also in San Diego.
Yeah,
that's a great point. iHeart should have next time.
Freaking iHeart.
Next time the astronauts return to San Diego.
iHeart. Who do I email?
600,000. What is it about people that go to space that has people enamored in that? Because nobody's ever done it. So you can't really relate. Is it the reason we watch the NBA? I can't shoot threes like that. Slam a basketball.
Let me just get a little more context on this.
Yeah.
You don't sound impressed.
No, it's impressive.
Jad.
It's all right. Where's the Machado?
You sound
Here's
like,
how I feel about.
We need that Machado a lot.
Here's how I feel about Artemis too.
How do you like them? Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. Now, here's my serious question, real quick, Al. And I'm not disparaging. Dead serious when I say this. You can text us 70470. Start it with the word team. Dead serious when I say this. Mm-hmm. Is it hard to do what they've done here? I mean, they didn't light 2 sticks on fire and launch the rocket up. They're just in the rocket.
Let me tell you something real quick. Let me tell you something.
I'm saying it's
coming from.
Look at their control panel, dude. I say, is it easy? There's 50,000 buttons.
Coming from us. Okay. Right. Let's take what we do. What we do
isn't easy.
Is not hard. Okay.
Compared to this,
what we
arguably.
do day to day, I'd love to say us talking on a microphone is very, very impressive. Right. Because some people maybe aren't comfortable with it, but for the most part, you do this enough. We got a good job. Yeah. All right. Sure. Let's put it that way. For you to just ask the question of did they really do? It's almost like a Seinfeld episode. Right. It's almost like a Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? Where Larry David is like, did we give him any credit for this? There's a little bit of that.
Well, if I was on the ship or the rocket ship, right? So the ship, if I was there, would I be able to hang, so to speak, with the other 4? Am I going to make it back? I think so, because they would just put me in the pod and
I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about it. I really don't. But it sounds, you're making it sound like they drove to Grand Canyon and came back. That's what you're making it sound like.
True.
You're making it sound like they fueled up.
Oh, you're right.
At a local mobile and it just,
you're right.
Stopped at a Burger King, ate some food and was like, hey, what's the big deal?
But what about, the 4 people up there? Mm-hmm. Is maybe the 4th kind of just along for the ride, or the other 3 carrying his weight?
I got you on that.
Is someone oh, you know what? Bob is nowhere near as good as Nancy.
And Bob is 9th in the lineup. And he's 9th in the order.
He's eating astronaut ice cream where everyone else is doing all the scientific experiments.
They don't tell him hey, here's what the next step is.
Just Bob,
they don't bring his opinion into anything.
That's what I'm wondering. I don't know the answer. We should have one of them on when they land.
I think they all have to be equally skilled, because if something would happen to the other three, they can't just leave the
not according to John.
Right.
Brent.
What could happen? They're in outer space. They
I know John acts like these guys won. They all won. They're caller number 10, and they all won a free trip to space.
This is one of my favorite takes that I think. I hope this comes up a lot, and I don't know how difficult it is, but how
it might be hard.
Easy you dismissed. Like, I've seen better.
No, like I'm curious. Like when the pod drops down into the Pacific Ocean, again,
you're asking. You're asking.
Okay
here's what you should ask.
In the pod?
Honestly, you should ask ChatGPT, who will have a better idea of like what they're doing. Is it impressive or not? Can I be the fourth person on there?
I mean, they're
Can I come off like the fourth guy, like you mentioned?
Yeah.
Is that dude coming off the bench? Is he a two-way player? Probably in the G League.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, like you could be the 15th man on Oklahoma City and still get a ring.
You can still get a ring. That's right.
So that's what I'm wondering.
But I think it's the equivalent of you saying like, hey, that 15th player on the Oklahoma City Thunder, can I do what he's doing? I feel like that's your question.
And I can't.
I feel like what you're saying is, hey, there's an NBA player and there's only 450 of these in the NBA.
Right.
That 450th player.
Can I play with that player? And
if I play them up to 11, am I winning 11-7?
No, I'm not scoring in all likelihood.
That's how I feel. Right. That's the best comp that I can give without knowing nothing about NASA and everything
Here's the thing. What I want to be, because this is happening within the next hour, somewhere in San Diego County, I want to believe, or I don't know if San Diego County is the ocean.
Could be in El Cajon.
No, I think it's going to be in the ocean. That's the preferred
might as well.
landing spot.
Honestly, like, just let's get down there.
But like, I'd like to watch it. Like my son literally is like, these people are like watching this. Kids are like heading to the coast.
600,000. That's amazing.
600,000 people are watching this on YouTube. I think we only have 500,000 people, for example, watching Schaefer and Sliwa. So more people are watching the return of Artemis
than
show. Are watching this show. Believe it or not.
A little surprised, actually. To be honest with you. A little offended too, to be honest with you.
That's why we need to do
American. You come on San Diego Sports 760.
We need to do a show from space in addition to El Cajon. All right, Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30. Right now, let's get to this.
Do you think the brick will work in space?
Maybe.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Is it concerning for you guys that the Padres have had a different starting lineup every game this season?
I don't know if that includes today, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know if they've released a lineup.
They have.
It's not concerning to me. What's more concerning is John doesn't think that our NASA program is.
No, I'm pro NASA. Pro NASA.
I love when you said you're pro internet.
Yeah.
Being pro internet.
Not anti.
No, it's listen, you're starting out the season, you're trying to figure out what works. I think if you're, the manager of the Padres, you're also saying to yourself, look, let me get kind of a vibe here. Let me figure out what it is. If they continue changing the lineup and we're in August, I'd probably have more concern, because it's like, all right, well, do you know the lineup yet that you feel like gives you the best shot of winning? Of course, guys are going to take days off, whatever the case is, but I'm not concerned at all.
This is, by the way, 14 for 14. Brent just confirmed it. 14 different lineups in 14 games. I'm not concerned either. Tinkering is now just baseball. The idea that you just set it and forget it, like the food dehydrator or whatever.
Oh, yeah. The set it and forget it. That guy was amazing.
That guy was unbelievable.
I mean, if I was old enough.
It was the name of the cook was Ronco. Yes.
If I was old enough, I would buy it. I just wasn't old enough at that time. But I would look at my dad like, "What are we doing here? How do we not have two of these here?"
The
chicken one.
I had the dehydrator where you could dehydrate fruit. It was unbelievable.
You're talking about.
You had to wait 3 days.
Yeah.
You put like the apple in the thing, and 3 days later you have like apple chips.
But
unbelievable.
The rotisserie, the chicken thing, the set it and forget it.
So that's how baseball used to be. It was a lot of set it and forget it. Now it's much more platoon oriented, lefty or righty starter. And now you're just changing catchers all the time. You didn't do that in 1979. So no, I have no issues with it. What I would say is I'd like them to find a grouping that's producing more offense than they've found. Yeah. I think they're still trying to find the right combination for whatever that's worth.
Is that a combo, or those just freaking players need to come through?
That's what it is. That's exactly right. I think
it's
less about the lineup and more about Tatis, yada, yada, yada.
Are there a lot of teams you think, or a couple of other teams that you think are 14 for 14 in their lineups?
Great question. I think there's other
more
teams.
Common now. Yeah.
I think if players came through more consistently, we won't have a different lineup every day.
Potentially.
So
Yeah.
If they were third in baseball and slugging percentage right now, you'd see some similar lineups, would be my guess. Good point. Next question.
if you could golf at any golf course in the world, would you choose Augusta National?
All right, first, is Rory just running away with this thing? Is that what's happening?
He's 12 under, 6 strokes up
Wow.
heading into the weekend. 12 under.
By the way, so much more dangerous when you got that one under your belt.
Great point.
We were talking about the Thunder. We're talking about, I mean, you could use this analogy too. I hate to, but it's the truth. Dodgers getting that one, it makes the second one that much easier. Rory's kind of in a similar position. If I could golf anywhere, Augusta, I'm going to say no. You know where, if you told me I'd golf anywhere, and I know you and I aren't the biggest golfers, but what's better than being out on a beautiful course?
Yeah, what do you got?
Pebble Beach.
Pebble Beach.
Don't I got to go to Pebble Beach?
You don't
Isn't
have
that? No, first off, that area in itself.
Beautiful.
That
we've been up
Carmel.
there.
Oh my
spectacular.
gosh.
What's it called? The 8 mile?
17-mile drive.
17 miles.
Why are you knocking 9 miles out?
I don't know. It didn't feel like it was 17 miles when I drove it.
This guy he was
8 miles.
You put
8
it
miles is M&M or whatever. That's
Detroit.
Yeah,
it's Detroit. You put it on your car. You know, you could reset your mileage. You're like, well, we're gonna find out if this is 17 miles
Beach
or not.
in Detroit, or did you go to the one? Did you go in Pontiac, Michigan, or did you go to the one that was in Northern California?
I'm golfing Pebble Beach.
You would do Pebble.
Oh.
Here's the thing: I'm not a golfer, and there's a lot of great courses, by the way, in San Diego County. In addition to Torrey Pines, if I have no answer, I think I would do Augusta National. To me, that's probably the most iconic course in the world.
Probably
Maybe
the
not.
coolest
St.
one to
Andrews.
say.
St. Andrews is
another good
ridiculous, obviously. But I think Augusta National, to me, would be fascinating. You just see, like, the flowers, the azaleas. It looks unbelievable. In April. So, by the way, Rory's going to win this thing. I'd be shocked if he didn't. He's had some collapses before, but with one under his belt, to your point,
He's good now. Yeah, he's good now.
Next question.
Would you rather have Shea or Wemby for the next 5 seasons?
Shea or Wemby for the next 5 years? All right, this is actually an easy one for me. Damn, am I disrespecting the MVP? It could be potentially 2-time MVP.
You're going to say Wemby.
Yeah, I'm going Wemby. I think Wemby's upside is as good as anyone's upside in the history of the NBA. Wilt, LeBron, Jordan, Magic. Now, the problem with Wemby is going to be health-wise, that body. Is he good to go 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now? But, brother, we've never seen anything remotely like this. He can own the court on one side of the floor, and I'm talking about the defensive side, completely own the game. And then, do you need 35 and 14 rebounds on top of that? And that's probably a conservative night. He's had some of the most ridiculous stats I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I would have picked, if I had an MVP vote, I would have given the most valuable player of the year to Wemby over Shea. So I'm going Wemby.
Here, you're talking about Wemby's upside, and I agree with you. I love Wemby. I think he's a freak of nature. Now, we're talking about 2 of the better players in basketball today, and these are great players in the history of the game. They could be regarded as 2 great players. I'm taking Shea not because of his upside, but because of his side, because of what he's doing. He's already won 1. He's going to win another potentially, and he could win a 3rd or a 4th right in the immediate future, right in front of our eyes. So he's proven he's capable of doing it. I think he'll do it again. Wemby still needs to prove to me that he can do it.
Here's the beauty. These 2 might have to go through each other for the next 4 or 5 years.
I'd love to see that.
Obviously, it could happen this year. It would be, there'd have to be an upset in the Western Conference for those 2 not to face each other in the Western Conference Finals.
Right.
So we might be working on something these next couple of years. It's those 2 franchises.
I'd love to see them go up against each other. I want to see Shea guarding Wemby every night. Best of 7
I'm with
series.
you on that. Yep.
Next question.
On a Friday afternoon like this one, are you drinking a margarita or a beer?
Well, I'm watching Artemis. Okay, so if I'm outside with the Marg in San Diego, I got a good vantage point. I'm high up. I'm
Beautiful
perched,
vantage point.
right? I need to be on the coast.
Listen, nothing like a nice cold beer. Nothing like all the phenomenal local breweries that we have here in San Diego. I'd like a blended margarita, some salt on top, maybe even some tahini on the top.
Tahini.
That what it's
Is
called?
that spicy?
A little bit of a spice, but it's good. I'm going margarita.
I'm going neither, and I'm going kombucha. I know it's controversial, but
What's
it is
the
also very Southern
controversy?
Californian. Very, Southern California. The controversy is you asked we were asking if it's beer or margarita. I'm going neither.
When you order the kombucha, are you like, I'm a little better than you? Is that
actually,
the vibe that you
I'm
give?
oftentimes embarrassed to ask. But I've noticed by and large in San Diego, they have them. But I'm like, hey, I like say it quietly. I'm like, do you have kombucha here? They're like, what kind? I'm like, they're like with alcohol. I'm like, yeah. Or
Hey, Mike, you
without.
got any kombucha over here?
And then they start yelling
the other way.
And then they put umbrellas in it. There's sparklers and
John won't drink it if there's no umbrella.
I just want normal. I just want a kombucha.
Sparklers.
Yeah, I just want a normal kombucha.
Your drink glows in the dark.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
matter everywhere you go.
They're coming out. They're singing songs like it's my birthday. I just want a kombucha. All right.
I'll do a margarita.
On the other side, speaking of the NBA, and I don't blame you having a margarita today. All this talk about the Lakers being done.
Yeah.
Are they in fact done? The latest on Luka. Plus, Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider, joins us in about 15 minutes. We'll hear from Craig Stammen, his pregame thoughts coming up as well. Here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, San Diego Sports 760, Schaefer and Sliwa. Kevin Acee will join us coming up at 4:30 in about 10 minutes. In this hour, let's give away a pair of tickets to see Pink at Petco Park on May 15th. If you're wondering how many minutes we are until Splashdown, talking about Artemis 2, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, is it Artemis 2? Okay. Now, I don't know what happened with Artemis 1, but hopefully it was successful. We're inside 50 minutes of splashdown from this NASA spaceship that's going to land off the coast of San Diego.
Watching it right now. I'm in. How many we have now?
How many people are in?
921,000 people watching.
We're two of them.
We are two of them.
Yeah.
So it just, something to keep in mind in regards to that. And if we had to give a play-by-play, you have a lot of history in play-by-play. You did a lot of minor league baseball, now doing SDSU football and basketball. What would your play-by-play be for those that are in their car right now?
They're currently in the sky, and they're going to fall out of the sky and land in the ocean.
And if I was doing color, I would then say, you're right on, John. That's exactly what it looks like it's going to happen. It's probably going to happen in the next 50 minutes.
50 minutes. So I'm excited to see what it looks like, I think. So we'll keep our eye on that. All right. So for a moment, it was like Lakers are hook, line, sinker done. And I think most Laker fans probably still feel that way because of these injuries.
Mm-hmm.
They won a game last night, but who cares? They beat the Warriors. The Warriors have given up.
Dominated them.
But there's still this idea that, well, what if Luka returns? So is that still a possibility? How quickly could he return? And if they're just 2 or 3 games into a playoff series, what would Luka returning potentially mean for the Lakers and for the NBA?
All right, so I'll tell you this. A week and a half ago, they've had remember, they finished the month of March. They went 15-2. So if you're a big NBA fan or just a basketball fan in general, you could not kind of follow anything NBA without somebody reminding you that the Lakers went 15-2 and they won 9 in a row.
Right.
But let me give you a little bit more background. OKC, there was a point in the season where they won 12 in a row right before the Lakers won 9. So right as the Lakers were winning 9, OKC was winning 12.
Yeah.
Spurs were playing some good ball, but it was the Lakers. It was the Lakers brand. It all crashed down last Thursday, about a week ago at OKC. Everybody gets injured. Luka's out and AR's out. Here's a kind of, I would say, the weird thing. Luka is he's in Spain trying to figure out if there's technology available, which there probably is, to speed up this hamstring strain that he has, which is a grade 2 strain. So he should be out 3 to 6 weeks.
Right.
I think the interesting thing that comes from all this is like, why haven't they announced it ain't happening? Why haven't they announced?
They haven't ruled him out.
Haven't ruled him out. And the only story that you have is he's trying to expedite the process. What if, let me just kind of play this out. And the NBA is like, hey, how much is that flight to Spain? We'll cover it.
Like, we'd love to have the Lakers relevant in April.
Oh, I mean, listen, this is what makes the NFL so much different. Then I think baseball too, baseball and the NBA, there is definitely a lot of dependency on
the teams.
Can we get the big market? Can we get a popular franchise? We don't care whether people love San Diego or they don't. Obviously, we want to see the Padres get to a World Series. But I think there's this, is there enough time for Luka to go do this procedure? Is there any possible way that the Lakers can be in a playoff series where 3 games in, they're down 2-1?
Right. So they're still kind of in it.
So, but just like you're basically holding on for dear life. I don't know how long Laureano was out for last playoff series, but there was, some speculation of can you just get past the Cubbies?
Right. Like, you're saying, could he have come back?
Can you just give yourself, you're trying to buy yourself time, buy yourself as much time as possible. And this is very common in all sports. I will say that if Luka is able to make some type of return at some point do you bring him back if you're down 0-3? I don't think you do.
But you bring him back down to 2-0?
If it's 2-0, I'm bringing him back.
Okay.
But this is how I'm bringing him back. The trainer's got to say good. Everybody's got the team doctors on this side, his agent, everybody else. And then Luka's got to say, guys, I feel pretty good. It's got to be that type of situation. And I mean, if it was, I don't care what's going on in the first round. Everybody's stopping what they're doing and saying, hey, what can Luka do for the Lakers in this playoff?
Well, let me ask you this. If that did play out, and Kevin Acee will join us in 5 minutes.
Which I don't think it's likely.
But let's say he did come back, even 2 games in, as in he missed the first 2 games. So now he's probably missed, the timeline better. Let's say he's missed 20 days, roughly, whatever. Can you experience that injury, be out for 20 days, play in no games, and step into that role, and not just play, but help play to the caliber that's necessary to win?
Yeah, that's the challenge. The challenge is going to be you're not walking into December
Regular season, easing your way back into it.
You're walking into
have to win.
You have to win playoffs. And I'll put another piece on this. You're walking in against the Houston Rockets, if that's who they end up playing, who's known for their defense, who wants to be physical, who knows if somebody has an injury, let's go try to take advantage of it. It's a lot of factors, but if they're able to make it happen, and in some way he is, that will be one of the biggest storylines you got in sports.
It'll be compelling, no doubt about it. All right, Kevin Acee on the other side as the Padres get ready for the Rockies, debuting their City Connects tonight as well. Our Padres Insider, Kevin Acee, joins us next on Schaefer and Sliwa right here on San Diego Sports 760.
This report is sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving. The Padres and Rockies are getting set for game 2 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be Tomoyuki Sugano going for the Rockies and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 6:40. Tomorrow night, San Diego FC returns to Snapdragon Stadium to take on Minnesota United. You can hear coverage beginning with Darren and Adrian at 7 o'clock. And tonight, the Lakers are taking on Phoenix right here on San Diego Sports 760. Our pregame coverage will begin at 7:15, and we will have the tip at 7:30. For victims of drunk and drug driving, your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call the 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
All right, we're going to connect with Kevin Acee momentarily. Our Padres Insider, Padres Rockies game 2, coming up tonight from Petco Park downtown. Padres have won 5 of 6, which is encouraging. And
let's go.
They're over 500 for the first time as well. We've got Kevin with us right now. Our Padres Insider back with us on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. And Kevin, always appreciate you taking some time for us. I want to start with the latest on, I know you wrote about it today, Jason Adam. Is he expected to be activated today or over the course of this weekend, or what's the latest with Jason Adam?
It'll definitely be this weekend. It sure seems like it's going to be tomorrow now. Like they're just, they keep fooling me. They're just being super, super careful. He did throw 2 innings on Wednesday, but Craig Stammen said he's ready. Supposedly they're still talking about it right now. There's a lot of things going on, like in terms of who could get sent down. Jeremiah Estrada get a little stay on the IL to work on some stuff, get a rest. There's all sorts of considerations. I imagine they've decided, but they haven't said anything, and they say that they're still working on it.
Kevin, just kind of play off of that right there. You mentioned Jeremiah Estrada, velocity down, and I know that's been a conversation. What is just the conversation, whether it's with Estrada or with Craig Stammen, in regards to how he's feeling, and is that a possibility that he could kind of get sent down to work on some things?
Yeah, work on things / rest. They say it's mechanical. I mean, you've heard of other pitchers like that, where there's even a more severe velocity drop, and it was like a mechanical thing, either something they were working on or didn't realize or whatever. And it sounds like that could be the case with Jeremiah. I mean, like, they're not sending the guy out there for 1+, and having him pitch. What has he pitched 5-6 times now? Like, if he's hurt, but my understanding is that there are discussions about, does he need some time down?
Kevin Acee with us right now, our Padres Insider, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. I didn't realize in the moment last night, Kevin, I guess I didn't watch what Craig Stammen had to say post-game, but I saw in your writings today that Fernando Tatis Jr. bunted on his own. That was not called from the dugout. He elected to bunt on his own in that 12th inning. Did it surprise you in real time or not?
Well, remember that the team I watched the last couple of years. Remember that.
Yeah,
so
true.
Maybe the answer is yes, it surprised me. And then I was like, oh,
it's the Padres.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then I was like, but wait, they don't do that anymore. And this is Fernando. And then you think, he's pretty closely aligned with, Jurickson Profar in terms of, obviously they're friends, but also like their baseball awareness, their knowledge, their willingness to do that, especially things aren't going great. Fernando's hitting the ball like 1,000 miles an hour. And what happens, if he just grounds out again, or, and it's to the left side, and, you took an out away, and he decided that he's going to get that guy over. And he walked past Randy, Knorr, and Craig and said, I'm bunting. And they're like, oh, okay. I mean, you don't talk a player out of it at that point. You certainly don't if you trust the player, especially.
Kevin Acee joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. We were talking a little bit earlier about Xander. Obviously, what a cool moment for him. He hits the grand slam. Padres win the game 7-3. We were, as we try to continue to hold, at least I mentioned it a couple times here, everybody's trying to hold Xander, of course, accountable. But yesterday was a cool moment for him. So let's give him his flowers there. Is there a world that you think, Kevin, we know that he's never going to be what he was with the Boston Red Sox, what he's been for the first 3 years with the San Diego Padres? Is there a middle ground? Do you think that's I don't want to say available, or is that a possibility for Xander Bogaerts? Just how do you feel? What would be that in between for him that you can sit back and say, hey, that's a good season for Xander?
Well, I mean, if the guy has a 780 OPS at this point, right? Not like, 780 OPS and, whatever it is in terms of, his contributions. Well, I'm not trying to undersell what Xander Bogaerts should be doing based on his contract and what they got and the fact that he's still only 33. I'm saying based on what we've seen for 3 years, I'm trying to be realistic and say, okay, so he's had good halves of the seasons. Generally, it's been the second half. Okay, so he's still capable of something. What is it that for it not to be a waste? And it's something like that, like contributing like this every once in a while, going on these streaks that he goes on. And at the end of the year, you look up and he wasn't a void in the lineup. And you actually had hope when he came up because he did hit, he's probably going to, with all those infield singles and stuff, the guy's probably going to hit 270, right? 260, sure. 270. Then it's just like, what sort of how many doubles, how many homers? I think that's realistic. And I think that, the way you said it is fair that there's been a time where I've been like, and I still am. He was amazing in Boston. Maybe not Hall of Fame, but Hall of really, really, really good. And has been a shell of himself here. And I think that we sort of need to adjust our expectations. I'm not saying don't be mad about it. I'm saying, adjust the expectations. So I think that's a fair question.
I'll bring this up because you and I talked about this recently on a YouTube show, right? About Mason Miller. And this was like a week ago or whatever. And I'm like, listen, this guy's so good. Like I'm putting the over under on blown saves like a half or 1.5. And that's probably still crazy because we're 2 weeks into the season. But I'll go further because of something Buster Olney tweeted about. He said that Mason Miller is putting himself on a Cy Young trajectory. I'm paraphrasing, but he spoke about his candidacy. I get it. It's 13 or 14 games into the season or whatever it is. Is it too early to have these conversations? Is any of this realistic when it comes to Mason Miller, considering how out of this world he has been?
I don't think it's too early in the context of how you guys might have it, how we're having it right now. We might have it on the YouTube show. Yeah. I don't think, fans talking about it, I don't think it's too early. Because that's what we do, right? That's what we do. And the guy has been amazing. I think how I feel about the season and that we are not 10% of the way through right. And that it is too early. But I'm telling you, this doesn't feel like a heater. This feels like a dominant guy, if you know what I mean by the difference, right? It's like, this doesn't feel like, wow, what a good stretch for Robert Suarez. This is no contact. This is defeated batters, and it's time after time. I don't care who it is. 13 games and whatever is now 6 appearances. I think that's a little too early. I happen to respect and love Buster, and I think I appreciate what he was saying. That's what Twitter is for, and what talk shows are for. And I think it's fascinating to think about because you wouldn't think that. I mean, they created an award. This year will be the first time it's given out. That there's now a reliever of the year award because supposedly, relievers couldn't win the Cy Young anymore.
Kevin Acee joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Padres, obviously, tonight against the Colorado Rockies, the second game of this 4-game set for the Padres. Looking at Walker Buehler tonight, John and I spent a little bit of time just, you can almost kind of say, similar, we're talking with Xander, of recalibrating some of our expectations for certain players. Of course, Walker Buehler's got this unbelievable history. As he makes his third start tonight for the Padres, where are you on expectations for him when he gets a ball on the mound and just gets ready to start his third time for the Padres?
Same as what they were at the start of the season, which is, a guy that should be your 4/5, probably your 5 when you think about Joe Musgrove getting healthy at some point, Griffin Canning coming in, maybe them acquiring someone. Just a Germán Marquez and Walker Buehler doing what Germán Marquez did last time. Doesn't even have to be, 5 5 innings, no runs. It's just got to be 5 innings, the occasional longer, but 5 innings and give your team a chance, which means like 3 or fewer runs. It's still pretty high winning percentage for your team when your starter does that. And it gets even better at 5 innings and 2 runs and 5 innings and 1 run. It's like, that's the game today. And especially with this bullpen, once it's fully healthy, you would expect that, hey, that's a game that the Padres can expect to win. So that would be my expectations for him haven't changed at all. Now, go a couple more starts where he's, looks unhittable for 2 innings and then falls apart. Then you go, well, maybe he can't hold his delivery. Maybe he can't do it. Then my expectations will, plummet. But like right now, it's like, well, he's shown up for 2 innings in both starts, and I know what people are saying about him. And so, okay, let's see what he does.
My final one for you, Kevin, would be I would like your review of the City Connect uniforms.
Yes, full review.
Your thoughts about, this is everyone's talking about it on social media. So what do you think of the new City Connect uniforms?
I'm a pretty simple guy, and I think these are fairly like to the like when you first look, you go, oh, those are simple, right? They're subtle. Now there's all these little details that are really cool. I like the trim on the sleeves and the tags and Katrina, the lady there on the side that represents your departed family members. That's just like I think that's subtle but it's there and it's neat. And I do. Now, maybe I'm tainted too because I just spent an hour in the clubhouse and every member of the Padres, from clubby, coach, player, is wearing some sort of T-shirt, hoodie, of the polo with the new designs, and they are sweet. They look really good. I love blue and this, whatever you're calling these colors. I think they're really cool. So maybe I'm like, man, it's like the whole package, the whole set of stuff that they sold $1.1 million worth of merchandise in yesterday. That is kind of tainting me to go, these are really cool. But like I will say too, I love the bone pants, man, with the little stripe. I think those are sweet. Like, it's bizarre because I don't get this excited for this kind of stuff. But I'm like, these are really nice.
I'm with you.
They really are.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Alan's very
I love
pro City Connect. I'm reserving
You know what I
judgment.
don't like too?
What's
I
that?
don't like uniforms without buttons. So it's weird.
Pullovers.
But I like these.
Yeah, those are a little
But
different.
they're sweet, man. They
All right.
really are. I like them.
I want to see him tonight. I'm excited to see him tonight. Kevin, thank you. Let's
Thank
do
you,
it
Kevin.
again next week. Thanks for hopping on.
All right, we'll do it.
We're going to give away tickets to see Pink at Petco Park May 15th next. You're going to hear from Craig Stammen, his pregame comments with the media. You'll hear that coming up at 5 p.m. We react to our conversation with Kevin. Coming up next on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, we're going to hear from Craig Stammen coming up at 5 p.m. Schaefer and Sliwa on this Friday afternoon. We're giving away Pink tickets. Tickets to see Pink. It's weird when you say Pink tickets. Tickets to see Pink.
Tickets to see the performing artist
known as Pink.
The OG Pink.
She's been doing it a long time.
She's been doing it for a while. Right. She's phenomenal.
She's going to be at Petco May 15th, just about a month from now. We'll give away 2 tickets in the next 7 or 8 minutes.
We should do it based off of the countdown of.
You want to do it
Artemis.
based on the Artemis?
Yeah, we'll do it in
re-entry?
5 minutes and 35 seconds.
See, is it not okay? Earlier, I had some hot takes on this, but here's my next hot take about the return of this spacecraft to like these astronauts.
Well, it wasn't a hot take. You just basically said you weren't impressed.
No, I just said what Manny said about the City Connects. Like it's fine. It's all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's good. I'm happy they're doing it.
Anything change, or do you still feel the exact same way?
How do you like them? Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Like this whole space mission has been all right. Here's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
They've got live coverage on all these networks right now. We're watching ABC. It's on Fox, CNN,
YouTube.
Right?
Everybody's watching it on the stream.
Pogo, our sister station right now, has live coverage of this.
Mm-hmm.
For example,
you're saying why are we doing a live show and not also covering it?
No, here's my point. Here's my point. Wow. Why do people? And I'm doing it right now as I'm watching. Why do people love this?
Listen, man, I think it's more your delivery. I think that's what it is. Like you can say, hey, I'd love to somebody explain to me, like, so I have more context of why this is so impressive and everything else. But the way you say it, it's like you're at the grocery store and you're just looking and you're like, yeah, I don't know why this is bland.
No,
you went to a restaurant and they gave you the food.
Right.
And you're like, yeah, I mean, there's just nothing special about this.
No, there's
not enough salt on.
I'm amazed. I'm interested now. Now that we're in it, I'm interested. It's one of those things that, like, if you would have told me 7 months ago, hey, Artemis 2 on April 10th is going to land outside San Diego, Canada.
I think if I'd have told you 2 days ago,
I'd be like, I don't care. Yeah. It's way too far out. I'm not, like, other people are probably obsessing over it. But now that it's here, this is how I am a lot with, like, the Olympics. I'm not, we're 400 days out. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But once it's here, I'm like, oh, how about that triple axle? She nailed that. Like, I'm all into it all of a sudden. That's how I feel about Artemis 2.
Would you say that you were impressed by the triple axle, or would you be like, all right, she could have landed a little bit cleaner?
No, I think both being an astronaut and being a professional figure skater
doesn't sound like it.
I'm not sure.
Like it.
You're right. I'm not.
All right, what's the live stream on YouTube? How much is it right now? Don't look. I got it.
Oh, what do you got? I mean, I would say over 1 million.
1.8.
So 2 million people essentially are watching a live stream on YouTube of the re-entry of Artemis 2. But then there's other millions of people watching television.
Actually, it's funny. YouTube probably demolishes the views based off of all these other networks.
That's a good point. I mean, 2 million people.
2 million people would, I think, call it pretty impressive. You would say
it's okay.
It's a Wednesday.
Manny. It's all right.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
What did Sammy say earlier? Oh, the day got. Wait, what did he say?
The day got away from him.
Day got away.
Right.
The day got away. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know anything about it. I don't know enough about it, but I'm getting excited because everybody else is getting excited.
Is this compared to like other iconic space mission moments? One small step for man, one giant step for mankind.
Yep.
It's been a while since that was said, but that was a good line. So they just went
past the moon?
They went way past it, dude. This Artemis 2?
So they just, but you said like, it's almost like you ever drive somewhere and you're like, I'm just driving around and you just make a little bit of a U-turn then you got to go back the same exact way.
They went way past it, right, Brent?
They went around it, but they went the long way.
So they flexed. They
flexed. They didn't take the local roads. They went highway and freeway and everything.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Put it this way: the famous Apollo one with the Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
They went around the moon because they had a technical problem. They were supposed to land on the moon, but because of the Houston, we have a problem thing. I've learned a lot having listen to this in the mornings on Kogo. So they went around the moon because they couldn't land on the moon. So they kind of did the same route, only they went way around the moon. It's like the farthest out into space.
There was an issue. The Houston, we have a problem. Did that end well or poorly?
Well.
What was the issue?
The oil hadn't changed the oil, and
That's
they
right.
were over 3,000.
That's right. They're over 3,000 miles away.
They're 4,000. So you can't do that on
here's the thing.
castor oil.
I have a lot of respect for NASA and these astronauts. I love how I preface this. And I don't think I'd be a good astronaut because I worry about a lot of stuff, right? I worry, like, I check my door twice to make sure it's locked before I go to sleep. So I'd be so worried about all these buttons. Like, what if a button went off or an alarm?
I'm with you.
What's
What's wild with this is they're landing in San Diego.
Well, in the ocean.
But still.
Right.
Like, we're here off the 15 off Arrow Drive, which is where we're located.
I hope that.
And the whole world is staring at
10 miles from here. Yeah, it is interesting.
That's unbelievable. We don't even have a window.
Did you know before, right? What does re-entry mean? Maybe this is where Brent can come in handy as well with Coco, because they're re-entering in 23 seconds, but that doesn't
the
mean
atmosphere.
Oh, re-entering the atmosphere.
We should have got a Coco guest on.
You know how we're going to do a new
idea.
segment? Serious here.
Yeah.
You know how we're going to do a what's new segment? We're going to learn about each other.
Yeah.
Here's something that you will find fascinating as we talk about this. Brent already knows this. You will find this fascinating, I think, unless you know it. I have been on the Concorde back in the 90s, which broke the speed of sound. It went 2 times the speed of sound, Mach 2. Yeah, you're looking at me like, how have you been on the Concorde? But my dad's job basically was travel. So we took a Concorde from New York to London in less than 3 hours in the 90s.
What the hell are you talking about here? Where did that
you know
come
the Concorde, though, right?
Yes.
100 seats, 2 on each side, 25 rows.
But that came out of nowhere, right?
It did. It did. And I had a lot of respect for the Concorde.
3 hours?
Nobody likes the Concorde more than I do. Less than 3.
One of the first times I met you, one of the first things you said was John Schaefer. I just want you to know I got a lot of respect for the Concorde.
I have a lot of respect for the Concorde.
I was like, John, I don't.
But do you think me being on the Concorde is similar to the re-entry? Because the Concorde goes way up.
I don't think you know, and I know you're not doing it intentionally, but there's some wild disrespect to NASA coming from your mouth today.
No, I like NASA. If NASA's listening.
There was a time, it's still there. You all of a sudden just started seeing people wearing NASA shirts.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It just kind of became a thing.
Right.
I don't know who started it, but
well, re-entry is happening as we sit here. We'll hear from Craig Stammen, not on Artemis 2 or on re-entry.
We might. Who knows? I didn't hear the questions.
It's true,
Could
but
be.
Probably on the Padres, who are getting ready tonight.
Bigger
to take on
story,
the Colorado
this
Rockies,
or Bueller
Padres
tonight?
Rockies. I mean,
I'm going Bueller. I think
there'll be a lot of
Bueller's
people
kind of
watching.
that's got a chance to go 2 games over 500. This technology
they're not
these
going
days,
2
this is
games
going to
over.
happen
Yeah,
more frequently.
no, I would agree with that. All right,
We lost it.
Who
you
wants
and I
pink-
have gone hallucinating.
we've gone crazy. Who wants pink tickets? Oh, this is interesting, by the way. With re-entry now, they
Blackout
lose
begins.
communication for a minute. Interesting. Yeah, this would scare me. I would not be a good astronaut. Call right now if you want 2 free tickets to see the artist Pink at Petco Park on May 15th. All right, call right now. 877-767-4760. Caller 5, you are going. 877-767-4760. Great giveaway. Call right now if you want those 2 free tickets. 877-767-4760. We'll hear from Craig Stammen. We'll see the astronauts land in the Pacific Ocean. All that ahead here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Staples. Padres and Rockies are getting set for game 2 of their series right now down in Petco Park. It's going to be Tomoyuki Sagano going for the Rockies and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Padres. First pitch is set for 6:40. Tomorrow night, San Diego FC returns to Snapdragon Stadium to take on the Minnesota United. Our coverage with Darren and Adrian will begin tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Tonight, we've got Lakers basketball on San Diego Sports 760 when the team takes on Phoenix. Our pregame coverage will start at 7:15 with the tip at 7:30. Staples has hundreds of great ways to boost your brand, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through April 18th and save up to $125 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is the final hour of Schaefer and Sliwa. We will give away a 4-pack of tickets to Sesame Place, which doesn't seem as big as
A lot going on right now.
playing out with the spacecraft that's about to land in San Diego. We'll hear from Craig Stammen, who spoke with the media just a short while ago, getting ready for City Connect Night 1, Game 2 of this Padres-Rockies series. What are you smirking at right now?
All right, 2 things. I can't get my eyes off this NASA Artemis 2.
Yep.
And then I don't know why when you said Stammen, I had salmon today for lunch. Okay?
You thought I said salmon? No, Stammen.
But just there was like a little bit like Stammen, you know.
Yeah, you had salmon?
Want some salmon? You know, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking in my head, like, what if there's like a...
What do you mean you had salmon for lunch? I mean, I think I understand. I mean,
yeah.
I kind of
as simple as that. I had salmon for lunch.
But like, see, during a work week, I'm not a big like
heavy.
Yeah, like salmon to me is.
But that's not heavy.
It's a nighttime meal.
But it's not heavy.
Was it in a salad?
Yeah, it was salad. Literally a salmon salad. Yeah,
I could see that.
But it's not heavy. Like I didn't say I went out to Phil's barbecue.
Right.
And took down 7 ribs and some ribeye.
By the way, I'm watching this pod
fall
we
out
can
of the
see
sky
right now. This thing is moving.
Right.
This thing is this coming in hot right now. And I think it's going to land in the ocean by San Diego within the next couple of minutes. Is that not
how long? And how long?
Within what is it, Brent? 2 minutes or something? I think 2 or 3 minutes. I think they said 5:07.
Can they zoom out for us? I need a zoom out view.
Point. So again, you had 4 astronauts that went further than any man or woman has ever gone, I think, by distance, and now they're coming back.
2.783 on YouTube right now.
Oh, look at this. There's a parachute. I was wondering how they were going that fast.
Okay.
And now it looks like the parachute's going to
Those parachutes are going to slow it down?
I don't know. Yeah, that thing's moving.
The chances of, because I know there's a lot of people right now depending on us to give them the update about Artemis 2, mission to the moon. I hope we're given actually, I know we're giving one of the worst play-by-plays of it, but just do yourself a favor if you are driving around at some point later tonight, go back and watch this because this is
pretty fascinating.
Freaking fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. It is. Be careful. If you're driving, I wouldn't watch it. But I think there are people on the coast that have some glimpses of this. I think that you could watch this play out right now. It's fascinating. But when they land in the water, then what happens, Brent? They get out of the.
It's gonna be like if a plane has to land in the water, they have like that inflatable thing that comes out.
Oh, they go down the slide. Very nice.
Yeah, and then there's rescue, like
one of those, and then 2 separate helicopters are gonna come out, and because they're gonna be 2 astronauts in each chopper, and then they're gonna get taken to a nearby aircraft carrier, I believe.
This thing is fascinating.
That's a really good breakdown from Brent.
Look at this now. We got more parachutes coming out. Do we want to hear from Craig Stammen, or do we want to see this thing hit the ocean?
Let's wait for this thing to hit the ocean.
Yeah, this is good radio.
We're close enough. A lot of other people are kind of depending on us. Yeah.
Once Artemis 2 is.
Oh, now it's slowing. Now it's chilling.
Yeah, you're right. It's slowed down now because we thought it was coming in a little hot.
Those.
Again, we don't really have the perspective of how fast it's supposed to be moving.
It was like 20. They had it up there. It's like 24,000. Yeah, it's really
Miles per
fast.
hour.
By the way, how's that? What does that even mean?
24,000 miles
How
per
is
hour.
that?
That's fast,
How is that
dude.
possible? How can a human being be in anything that's 24,000 miles per hour?
That's why the bottom of the container, for
Yeah.
lack of a better term, has a heat shield on it because they come in so hot that if they don't have that, then it would explode pretty much, or it would burn up on re-entry. So,
Brian, I honestly don't know where we would be right now without some of these explanations.
I like
because
it,
I
yeah.
have no idea.
Well, this is what happens because Brent spends some of his day in Kogo and he hears what they're saying on our sister station about this. I think we're within 60 seconds of Artemis 2 being in the Pacific Ocean off San Diego.
15 seconds.
15, Brent's telling me. We probably could have played the audio, truthfully. Pot it up.
Do they want to hear that or do they want to hear us?
I think that.
Probably that. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I think that. But Brent's telling me it's going to happen within 15 seconds.
Oh, you got to zoom out, guys.
Yeah, can zoom out. But yeah, this is pretty fascinating to watch. I didn't even know about this until about 24 hours ago.
Yeah, I found out about it a good 12 hours ago.
Yeah. And how long have they been on this mission, Brent? Do we know?
10 days?
Yeah, like a week and a half, 2 weeks. I think.
So it's
think
kind of
10
like
days.
a Gilligan type situation. It's like you thought you're going to go for 10 days, and they did go for 10 days, actually. What's happening here?
I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
We might have to go to Craig Stammen.
Yeah, I think
because
we
I
go
don't
to.
know.
I don't know what's happening. Have they landed it?
I don't think they have. I think it's just kind of floating.
Okay. All right, let's hear from Craig Stammen, Padres manager. Then we'll let you know what happens with Artemis 2 on the other side. Does this start with Walker Buehler? All right, it starts with the conversation about tonight's starter for the Padres, Walker Buehler.
Walker Buehler on the mound for you guys tonight. What would be the importance of getting a little more length out of him tonight, especially given how toxic the bullpen was last night?
Yeah, 12-inning game last night. So, the next day, the starter is very important, and he's going to be just fine. He's going to be great. So, looking forward to Walker, showing us what he's got tonight.
What have you thought of his first few starts?
Probably not his best. I think especially the last one, started up, both of them really started off really good, and then, kind of hit a wall there in the, third, fourth inning. So just trying to get him over that hump, get him through those innings, and I think he'll be just fine.
That was kind of like his last Cactus League start, too, right?
Yeah, the last Cactus League start, he was just off from the very beginning. But I think we're hoping to see what we saw before that when he was pitching pretty good in spring training, mixing a lot of his pitches and staying within his delivery for the full outing.
What's the latest on Jason?
Jason will be coming back soon. TBD on what day. But he's ready. He's done his rehab stint, and he pitched 2 innings on Wednesday, so we want to give him the proper amount of time off and get him back when he's fresh and can help our bullpen.
Proper amount of time off boots today.
Possibly not.
How do you feel about where the bullpen's at today? Just having such a long game yesterday, how do you feel about where the bullpen's at today?
I feel pretty good about where they're at. They're pitching good, and I think we have, enough guys available today to carry the load. We stayed away from both our guys that give us a lot of length last night. So, Kyle Hart, Ron Marinaccio, Wandy Peralta, all pretty fresh. And then we'll see about the back end guys, how they come out of throwing program and feel, and if they're ready for some action tonight.
How we talked about the ABS system. Now you've had a couple of weeks to digest it. Do you think that eventually you're going to be going from a challenge system to completely calling this game electronically? And is that something that you'd be in favor of?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that is a brain buster. I think the fans like how it's going right now with the ABS. And I think in the end, as long as the game is being played correctly with it and the fans like it, that's probably where it's going to stay. As if they're raising Cain about this ABS system not working out correctly, then it may go to the full ABS, but I don't see that happening.
You have situations now where guys have like maybe 2 seconds to make a decision. Nando, I just talked to him about that one. He had one on the last homestand. He decided not to go with it. You have the full system. There's accuracy all the way across the board.
Yeah, you're right. That's the point for ABS. I'll make the counterpoint because we're talking about it. My counterpoint
Well, that's what I
is,
meant.
my counterpoint is the whole time that we've ever grown up playing baseball, every single one of us playing baseball, when the umpire called a strike, it was a strike. And when he called it a ball, it was a ball. And whether you struck out or you walked, you had to walk to the back to the dugout or you had to walk to first base. And your coach had to say, hang with it. It's going to be okay. Go get the next at bat. And there's something about that that's really good, and that's what makes baseball great.
So you're old school when it comes to that.
I think dealing with adversity is a good thing, and that we can all learn from it. That's what I think.
6 wins in the last 8 games. This team's gotten good rhythm in terms of good hitting, good pitching in general. Just share about how you feel the team is currently right now.
Yeah. Obviously, wins make you feel good about how you're playing and how things are going. And we're not playing perfect baseball, but we're playing pretty solid baseball. We made a lot of great defensive plays last night that kept us in the game. The pitchers made a lot of good pitches there in extra innings to hold the deficit where it was, and then finally get out of an inning without giving up a run there in the extra. So, and the hitting had some timely hitting. We finally broke through in that last inning with the grand slam. They're hitting the ball hard. We're not getting a ton to show for it. So, we're playing good, but there's always more to try to get out of it.
Craig, you touched on it last night, but with Luis Campusano, how satisfying has it been to see him take this opportunity and do some really good things so far?
Yeah, it's great. It's what we expected out of him, and it's what he expects out of himself. So he's a really good player. We've thought that for a long time. He's getting probably more of an opportunity than what he's ever had, and he's taking advantage of it.
So you're not concerned? I was looking up and down the box score yesterday at the batting averages, and they're pretty anemic at this point.
Don't you know batting averages are a stat from the past?
You look at the OPSs and OPSs plus, they're not great at this point.
That's okay. That's part of it. What are we, 14 games in or 13 games into the season? All that stuff will take care of itself. Last time I looked at back of Manny's and Xander's baseball cards, that OPS looks about the same almost every year. So wow. I'm excited for what they're going to bring to the future, and we're winning without them having great individual offensive seasons at the moment. But I know that that's going to kick in at some point. And they're going to carry us, and it's going to be great.
If you're old school, I'm really old school because I like still batting average.
Yeah, I liked having a high batting average when I was in Little League too, but not Little League anymore.
High batting average by your position standards.
What's that?
By your position standards.
You mean pitchers batting average? Yeah.
Did you take extra time when you went to hit like Otani?
I wish I was that good a hitter.
All right, everyone's having fun. They've won 5 of 6. That's Craig Stammen earlier this afternoon with the media. Artemis 2 has landed, thankfully, in the Pacific Ocean, so that's good news. Looks like it has landed safely, presumably.
That was kind of, I don't know what to tell you. That was crazy.
It was really crazy.
Again, especially because it's not too far from here. Now, I'd rather be off the 15 off Arrow Drive, right here in the heart of the Mission Valley, if you want to call it. Who needs to be coastal right now? I'm good.
I did learn today that I couldn't do what they do, the astronauts. That was a lot.
Because about an hour ago,
I was
about an hour ago, you were like, Jeff, what's,
No, it seems.
What's surgery? I just saw what he did.
Yeah, it's not that hard. They were going 25,000 miles per hour about 5 minutes ago. That's fast.
No, it really is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So unbelievable to kind of watch all that. And I know we don't have, and obviously nobody does if they're listening to us. Nobody's got kind of a full audio breakdown, but we had Brent giving us all the details of how this thing worked.
Yeah. No, it was really cool to watch. All right. We're going to continue the conversation that Craig Stammen was having right there about ABS, automatic balls and strikes. There's more on that. Plus, we're giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to Sesame Place this hour here until 6 p.m. on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 does want to congratulate our winners and iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. There's still time to donate to a classroom project, and your donation will be matched by Donors Choose. Help us say thank you to the educators shaping our future now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers. We're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to Sesame Place coming up. Padres and Rockies are playing game 2 of their series in about 80 minutes or so. You wanted to continue the conversation that we've been having and Craig Stammen just had related to automatic balls and strikes. What do you have here?
So I went on a little bit earlier. I went on 570, which is the sports station in LA. It's iHeart as well.
Oh, we see how it is. Okay.
Listen, they want a little Laker analysis. We got to give them a little Laker analysis.
They didn't want Padres analysis?
If they did, I was ready to go. Now, they did kind of start off the conversation because they were having the conversation. Rogan and Rodney is the show, and Steve Hartman was filling in. So
Steve Hartman,
which we obviously know very, very well. Hartman's filling in, and they were having a conversation right when I got on about, hey, why do you even bother with these umpires? Like
why even use them? You
don't
ABS.
need the umpires. One is making an argument that, no, I like to have a human being behind the plate.
Okay.
I like to have the interaction with an umpire and a player. I like to have the back and forth. Like, there's some nostalgia that's there in baseball. Now, all of a sudden, you're just going to have a machine that does everything for you. I think ABS has been phenomenal so far.
I would agree.
But it's accomplishing 2 things. Number one, those really, really close, it's inches from being a ball or a strike.
2 inches.
The problem, I think, is there's also pitches that are so blatantly either strikes or balls, and these umpires are getting more and more exposed of like, where the hell is the strike zone here?
Yep.
One of the things I didn't mind, there was something that came with baseball that we're going to lose with ABS. It's okay. But there was something that came. It was like, hey, this umpire, this ump he's got a high strike zone.
Yes.
And as long as he's calling it for both ways,
it's a high strike zone.
The players now have a feel for the game, and it might take an inning or 2. And then you're like, okay, hey, we know how this umpire's calling. And the only time it feels like players and managers got upset, it's like you're all over the place. We don't know what the hell's a ball.
Right.
What the hell's a strike? Does it not just seem like no matter what happens, and the umpires might have a strong union and everything else that kind of comes with it, it's just a matter of time, right? I mean, it's too good. It's too accurate. The technology is too fast. It's too perfect. Do you feel like it's taking something away from the game right now? I feel like it's pop. We know what it is, and we're moving on. The NBA, one of the most annoying things about the NBA, they're gone for 30 minutes. The refs are like, hey, I know that, I know the score is 102 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and I know everyone's really excited, but we're going to air 7 commercials, and we're going to go look at a screen in Secaucus to figure it out. I don't feel like baseball loses anything with just even replays. Replays are quick. I think in Major League Baseball, much quicker than some of the other sports.
I think we are, and I could be wrong. Here's my guess. I think we're a long way off from ABS being the way games are called. The reason I say that is, first and foremost, the umpire union is where I start. Secondly, I think it leaves some of the human element you were just referring to in the game.
Do we need it?
Well, it is a game within a game. There was a game earlier this year where Fernando Tatis Jr. failed to challenge a pitch that was a foot off the plate. Right. It would have changed the complexion of a count.
Mistake on his part.
Because it was early in the season. And also, you only have so many opportunities to use it, which creates a game within a game. I think it'll be tinkered and tweaked. I think it'll be changed. Extra innings, for example, they give you an additional. Right now, in the first 9 innings, they give you 2, but if you get them right, you keep them. Maybe they change it to 3 or 4, and if you get them right, you keep them. But I don't know if we're going to get to a place anytime soon, I would say, where if there's 350 pitches in a baseball game, all of them are determined by automatic balls and strikes. Maybe we're getting there eventually. I think that's a little aggressive for like 2028 or 2029 even. No? I don't know. It's like this game was umpired for 150 years.
I know.
And now you're going to just do away?
I think, again, what it's going to come down to is what's the fan experience?
Right.
Do players like it? Do managers like it?
Yeah, it's a great point.
Is there again, I'm not targeting umpires and saying I got to.
It's a hard job.
Take these guys out of a job. I'm not questioning that it's not a hard job.
It's even harder now, I think. because you're being judged by these 0.2 inch.
But the 0.2s are okay.
Right.
I don't think people have an issue with that.
Right.
The problem is the entire ball is like clearly in the strike zone and you called that a ball. What the hell are you watching?
Right.
Now, I will say this. We don't have an equivalent to this, but if you and I are sitting here and we're doing a show, and there's a robot basically saying, hey, you did this wrong, that wrong, your pronunciation was wrong here. Like, we're going to look like idiots. That's what's happening in baseball. And you can have, is it John Boy? Is that this guy could take a clip,
break it all down,
and it could have 600,000 views, and everyone's looking at that umpire and saying, you just became famous. We didn't know you before this. Yeah, it's they're.
Let me ask you this.
Kind of go back to it. It's like, if you got the technology,
why not use it? Well, I'll spin the conversation this way. Is there who are the people right now in America, youngsters, you young people out there, that are like, when I grow up, I want to be a baseball umpire? Because who wants to be, A, potentially out of a job because we don't know what the future of umpiring is.
Right.
And B, exposed like this, under the scrutinized to this degree, like, what's the pool of people? They're like, you know what? If I could just get into baseball umpiring specifically, I think it's such a narrow swath of individuals. And again, these positions may not exist, to your point. Like, what's your career going to look like in 5 years if you're not even calling balls and strikes?
We're going to go, this is going a little out there, a little deep, but okay, what do they say right now about all this AI technology? There's a lot of occupations out there.
Yes.
Occupations that have been a big part of, people that go to school for 6, 7, 8 years. And they're like, hey, I don't know, in a year or two, they might not need that job anymore. In a weird way, I think this kind of falls along the same lines.
I would obsess over a cover letter. When I was younger, applying for a job, I could spend days, no joke. Send it to your brother, you show your wife,
really?
You tinker, you tweak it. Now, ChatGPT, 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
oh.
It's a resume, 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of examples. It doesn't mean it's better. I'm not saying it's better. I think we've lost a lot of some of the human touch. The way GPT writes, by the way, is not like humanistic. It's very similar, right? That's what people would tell you. Like, you could type ChatGPT,
give it a year
into software, and it'll be like, that sounds like ChatGPT.
Give it a year.
It's going to be, even more humanistic, you're saying?
Everything.
Yeah. No,
I mean, I typed it in today and I said, hey, how can I have a better personality for radio? And you know what it came back with?
Worked.
No, it said like nothing you could do, Al. It even said Al.
Well, it said, when I said, how can I be an astronaut? Like, it's not hard. And that's why I went on this tangent. All right. The World Cup isn't coming to San Diego, but our World Cup tune-ups coming to San Diego.
Yes.
We've got an update there for you on the other side. This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Plus, we're giving away a 4-pack of tickets to Sesame Place. Stay with us.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Padres and Rockies are getting set for game 2 of their series down at Petco Park tonight. It's going to be Tomoyuki Sagano going for the Rockies and Walker Buehler on the hill for the Friars. First pitch is set for 6:40. Tomorrow night on San Diego Sports 760, you can hear San Diego FC return to Snapdragon Stadium when they take on Minnesota United. Tomorrow night, our coverage with Adrian and Darren will begin at 7. And tonight, we've got Lakers basketball for you when they take on the Phoenix Suns. Pre-game coverage will begin at 7:15, and they will have the tip at 7:30. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
You know this guy?
Personally?
Well, you know his music. Bob Marley.
Phenomenal.
Good stuff.
Just phenomenal.
Really is. Really is.
We're gonna we'll get in the mix here.
Yeah,
We'll kind of start adding some more of this
music.
Good vibe. Brett, what happened? It was we
well,
had it, man.
The more we play, the more I have to cut out.
yeah.
Alan.
Then you lose the podcast,
and then we won't have a segment.
then you won't hear Alan.
Oh, so literally cut out. All right.
Correct.
It would have been
Correct.
worth it. They get less of me.
Okay. So a couple of things. Mentioned the fact we know the World Cup is this summer, Alan.
Yes.
You recognize that? The
Yes.
World Cup is coming up this summer. So Mark Ziegler, who we had on earlier this week, I want to say, talking Aztecs, also reports on soccer locally.
Mhm.
And he is reporting that there are multiple World Cup tune-ups coming to Snapdragon Stadium. You're going to have a match on June 6th between Switzerland and Australia here at Snapdragon. And the next day, Colombia and Jordan will play at Snapdragon Stadium. Plus, Switzerland and New Zealand will train in San Diego. This was previously announced.
Yep.
For the upcoming tournament this summer in the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. So 2 teams will train here.
Yeah.
We'll have 2 men's matches that were just announced. Obviously, it's the Men's World Cup that is this summer coming to these 3 countries. But that's pretty cool news, I think, if you're a soccer fan, right?
By the way, you don't even have to be a huge soccer fan.
Agreed.
What a
How
cool
cool is that?
freaking sporting event coming to San Diego,
wanna go.
California.
Seriously.
That's
Dude,
amazing.
So like Switzerland, Australia, that's cool. Like it's the summer, it's June. You can hit that up. Or Colombia, like that's cool. These nations are playing in the World Cup like a week later.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I think, again, like I said, and this kind of always, it will go back to this theme. And listen, if things were different 10 years ago, I think we'd be having much different conversations in San Diego. If you build it, they will come to SD.
Yeah, I mean,
this got to build the facilities. And
Snapdragon Stadium is proving that. They've gotten so many events. International soccer, men's and women's. They have Olympic soccer 11 matches. Was that when we were on the air? Did we talk about that?
No, I don't think it was on there,
just
but I do
before
know that it was. Yeah.
11 matches, including the women's and men's semifinal. The women's semifinal Olympic soccer is massive. Talking about the U.S. soccer team potentially playing here in a semifinal. I don't know if they will or not, but that's the potential of it.
It's a great representation for the city.
Yep.
People want to be here. If you're somebody on an international stage that's coming to watch, whether it's, whether you're coming to watch your country,
that too,
or you just happen to be somewhere within 200 miles of Snapdragon Stadium, you're like, yeah, why don't I go down to San Diego and go make that happen?
You're right.
It's a better billboard. There's no better billboard than that.
You're right. I think something like this, yes, it's not the World Cup. The World Cup itself is not being played in San Diego, to all be clear, but it is in Southern California and LA, for example. But to your point, you've got people coming from all over the world to America and Canada and Mexico for this tournament. I mean, what an amazing opportunity for the city of San Diego that I think will take advantage to some extent of the upcoming tournament. Again, you don't have actual matches, but you've got friendlies in advance of the tournament, which I think is huge.
What's the newest stadium that was built in San Diego?
Well, Snapdragon.
Snapdragon houses San Diego State football, San Diego State basketball.
No, not San Diego State basketball.
San Diego State football, NWSL, obviously the women's,
the Wave,
the San Diego Wave, SDFC. Like just one, you built one, which isn't this massive, unbelievable, but I think it's the perfect size for these sports. And look how many events that came with it.
It's a good point.
Imagine if you just had
an arena.
Imagine if you had an arena. don't tell me if you ended up with an arena, and I know we've had this conversation. We'll have much more in-depth conversations about this down the road. But if Midway Rising was built and you had a 16,000, 16,500, whatever it would be, arena there, you don't think at some point an NHL or an NBA team is going to say, hey, that's a pretty good market down there in San Diego. How many different events that can come with it? We just, listen, San Diego speaks for itself, but you got to have the facilities. You have to have the facility.
I will say this. Viejas Arena is a terrific college basketball arena. It's gotten the NCAA tournament 5 or 6 times. But to your point, because that arena, the sports arena in the Midway District, which has been there since the 1960s, I mean, literally had John Wooden hoist a national championship in a Final Four. That's how long it's been standing. I mean, that's incredible to say, right? It's time.
Of course.
There are very few arenas of that size in America that old. Simple as that.
Brother,
They've all been knocked down.
and it doesn't represent the city. What I mean by that, it's got a great history for the city. I don't want to be disrespectful to what we've
because a lot's been
what it's been used for. But like anything, like I hate it. And somebody had sent us a tweet. Somebody had put something out there and it was like my favorite picture of Qualcomm Stadium.
Okay.
I loved Qualcomm.
Sure.
I know Qualcomm needed to be replaced. Sure. I know that. But if you gave me the option, have Qualcomm or not, give me Qualcomm. But imagine if you actually had a stadium here that was state of the art. It just, everybody wants to be in this damn city. I mean, there's a reason why not only does Petco Park look the way it does, but you put together a badass product and you're in the city of San Diego, and then it's the number one, what is it? It was ranked the number one ballpark in the country.
Has been routine.
You could take that same ballpark and put it in 25 different cities. It's also the fact that it's located in San Diego, California.
That's a great point. If that ballpark today,
take it anywhere, put it in Pittsburgh. You said Pittsburgh Stadium is
Pittsburgh
perfect.
Stadium is Petco Park, and guess what? They draw 7,000 fans. So you're right. San Diego is a big reason why this all works.
Plus, the border. Everybody loves having this rivalry with Los Angeles. Like you want more competition against these surrounding cities.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Switching gears, you just mentioned something. NBA playoffs will get underway with the play-in tournament coming up next week. Teams are still jockeying for seeding right now, including the Lakers. There's a game that's going to be played later tonight between Denver and Oklahoma City, where Denver is 2 wins away from securing the number 3 seed in the Western Conference playoffs, but they're sitting their starters tonight.
Weird.
With 2 games to play. Oklahoma City is also sitting their starters. So what do you think the reasoning is behind it?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, if you're the Denver Nuggets, who you've got Lakers might be given a gift here, and maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, because if you don't have Luka, I don't think it does matter. But there's a path for the Denver Nuggets that makes a lot more sense. You get Minnesota in the first round, or you get Houston in the first round. Maybe you can make a little bit of an argument with that, but you get one of those two teams, right? Second round, you could get OKC or you can get San Antonio. I think most people would want San Antonio, and Denver they're punting. I genuinely don't know why, but they are straight up punting on this game. Maybe they still think they can win, but the Thunder are punting. They're punting. Imagine if that's another thing. Like, you remember the end of the NFL season and it was Baltimore-Pittsburgh for the division?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
How many NBA games are out there where it's like comes down to the final weekend?
Yeah, I honestly, the more we talk about it, we've spent a lot of time on this, whether it's tanking or the playoff or jockeying and
nobody's playing.
I think it's time to even switch up. Forget about the lottery. I think it's time to switch up the playoff. And what I mean by that is like Eastern Conference, Western Conference, I don't care. I'm seeding them differently.
Oh, I like that.
I'm seeding them differently.
I'm all in on the 1 through 16. You don't have to seed them differently. Just
that's what I'm saying.
1 through 16.
Because again, one of the conferences is going to look one way and the other's going to look a whole nother. No, forget all that. There are no divisions, and they're conferences just by name. They all still play each other. The Lakers play the Sixers 2 times. So what? So they play the Sixers twice, and they play
Minnesota three times.
So I'm supposed to believe they can only play in the Western Conference playoff because they played Minnesota 3 times? No. The NBA is very popular in this country, but I'm telling you, it could use a little bit of like a retouch.
Shake up.
Yes, it could. I'm telling you.
You know why they say they don't want to do that? Because that was a discussion a couple years ago.
The West has always been so dominant.
No, yeah, it was
right?
part of the reason, but there was a discussion about it. I don't know if the NBA was just trying to kind of get a feel for, hey, will fans like this? Will they not? And I think it went chalk, right? You got old school people saying, I want the East and the West. You got people like you and me. I'm like, nah, freaking do it. Because if you can get, just hypothetically, whether you're a big NBA fan or not, but if you got a I don't know.
Celtics 8-9.
What's that?
Lakers Celtics like 5-12.
That's what I'm saying. Like it could be that in the
that's
first
kinda
round. You can get Knicks and the Houston Rockets, like just
Knicks Lakers.
Kevin Durant. It would be a completely different taste. I like the idea of that. I like the concept. The thing they didn't like about it was the travel. What they don't want you to do is if you're Lakers Knicks in the first round, I got to go, which by the way,
2-3-2, which they don't do. They want to avoid. I get.
I was going to say it's the 2-2-1-1-1.
They don't want to do LA, New York.
Yeah,
we just went around the moon and back in 10 days.
I mean,
you can go from New York to LA. They're on a charter jet.
Come on, guys.
If that's the only reason not to do it. Seriously, is proximity.
That was
or
the
geography.
idea. That was the excuse.
I can look past that. I lived in a world where the Arizona Cardinals were in the NFC East. I mean, there's the divisions. The NL West had the Atlanta Braves until 30 years ago. So, if you were doing it 30 years ago, you could do it now.
By the way, I mean, baseball, the AL's got the Angels in there. NL's got San Diego. Like, it's just none of it makes sense.
And they're going to be switching divisions actually in baseball probably coming up. If they expand to 32, they're probably going to go to 8 4-team divisions, which opens up a whole conversation about who do you want in the Padres division if that happens.
Oh, I'm down to. I say you go LA up. Well, I'm happy to go
Arizona, Colorado.
Let's get in that mix.
Exactly.
I'd like to just kind of change that mix.
So
I want to be in that division.
You'd say I want out of the Dodgers division.
I first off, it's not their division. Granted, they kind of own it.
No, but a division with them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I want. What's the path to go try to win a World Series? Like, do I need to see the Dodgers 13 times? It used to be 19 to find out that the Dodgers are pretty good. No, I'm good.
That's interesting.
I'm good off of that.
Let's give away a family 4-pack of tickets to Sesame Place on the other side here until
Get
6
us out of
p.m.
there.
Here until 6 p.m. This is Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, final time here on San Diego Sports 760. Call right now if you want a free family four-pack of tickets to Sesame Place. Great giveaway. If you want a family 4-pack of tickets to Sesame Place, you need to call right now. Caller 4, you are going. It's 4 tickets. So call right now if you want a family 4-pack of tickets to Sesame Place. Great value. 877-767-4760. Pick up the phone. Call right now. 4 free tickets to Sesame Place for you and your family. 877-767-4760. Pick up the phone and call right now. Sesame Place back and turning 4. Guests are invited to a birthday bash full of laughter, hugs, and furry fun. Tickets at sesameplace.com. So, okay, we came up with the perfect division for the Padres.
Best division, I think, in baseball.
Once they expand from 30 to 32, which I don't know if it's an inevitability like basketball, but it's coming. Trust me. Here's our division. It's Padres, A's.
Yes.
Rockies.
Yes. Last one.
D-backs. Boom. Sorry, Dodgers. Sorry, Giants.
What's
Sorry,
the problem?
Angels. I mean, the Angels, I don't mind, but
I wouldn't mind the Angels.
But they could spend again. They could try.
I take my chances that they're not going to know how to spend.
Completely agree with that. You could, okay.
Wait, well, who would you kick out then?
Maybe Arizona. So if you had Angels, Padres, A's, Rockies, give it to me. The Padres are winning that division 70% of the years.
Listen, here's the question you got to ask yourself. If you're a fan of the San Diego Padres, you might sit back and say, nah, I love when they play the Giants. I love when they play the Dodgers. There's history, all that.
Yeah.
Brother, I just want to see this city win. Okay. Nobody said you have to win in the toughest manner possible.
It's interesting.
Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to face competition once you get to the postseason and everything else.
Are you saying?
I'm just saying for a 162 game stretch, if
it's a little easier. Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And beggars cannot be choosers. So I already know the answer, I think. If and when the Padres win their first World Series, and it will happen.
Okay.
I firmly believe it. Would you prefer it to be against, one of these preeminent franchises, the New York Yankees, the Boston Red Sox?
Sure.
Or are you cool with the 6-seed Rays?
I don't give a fly.
That went 84 and 78.
Oh, it'd be amazing
You're okay
against
with
the Rays.
84 and 78 Rays.
Does it matter how you get it?
No, it doesn't. Because nobody remembers.
The only thing people remember is the shortened season.
Yeah.
Or COVID. That's the only thing they remember. Other than that, when Kansas City won their World Series, when the Nationals won their World Series, and I'm not telling you they didn't go through tough teams to get there, but does it matter?
No.
The Toronto Raptors won an NBA championship. You know how they won that championship? KD and Klay Thompson had to get hurt versus the Warriors for them to get that championship.
People do bring
that banner still goes up there. But I don't care if you bring it up. There's nothing they can do about that. That's not on them.
No, I agree. I'm trying to use another example in there of the history doesn't remember it that way. It's like saying, who won the national championship just over UConn?
Michigan.
It's not like what people are like, well, Michigan won it, but their path just wasn't as hard as UConn 23. Nobody said that.
San Diego State's path to get to the championship game.
Yeah.
And I know they faced Alabama,
they faced
who
the
was
top seed
the
overall.
number 1 overall seed.
Don't give me this. Where are you going to go?
What I'm going to say is that me as somebody who's watching, I'm like, wait, who do they have in the Elite 8?
Creighton.
Wait, who do they have in the Final 4?
FAU. Right. You're saying
we got a shot. That's what I was saying.
Sure.
As in, it wasn't North Carolina and Michigan. And I didn't care who they were playing in order to get there. I just
loved watching. That's a great point.
You just want it. You want a shot.
Do you remember who were the 2 games they won in the round of 64 and round of 32?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Charleston, the College of Charleston. It was a tie game with 3 minutes left in the first round. They won by 6, I think. Then they benefited from Furman upsetting Virginia.
That's right.
Virginia threw a ball away in the backcourt,
That's
all the way
right.
to the front court, stolen, a lot like UConn played
I
out
remember
here recently.
exactly it.
And then the kid hit a 3 on the wing, and that's who San Diego State then played.
My former producer, when I was up in Los Angeles, she went to Virginia. She went to the University of Virginia.
Yeah.
So we're watching that game.
Yeah, they just
we were actually on air because it was, during the day. It was like a noon game, or maybe it was a little bit earlier or something like that. It was during the day. And we watched that all unfold, the Virginia game before, and I'm like, we don't got to play Virginia?
Yeah, you're right.
And then San Diego State played after that.
You're right. And by the way, I want to say San Diego State's Sweet 16, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you're more familiar than I am. 2011 and 2014, I think they did the same thing. I think in the second round, they played teams that had upset their opponent in the first round.
Listen,
which is proving our point.
But the point that I think we're making is, would it be pretty cool if you won a World Series and you had to go through Philadelphia? You pick whichever NL teams, obviously the Dodgers.
Right.
And then in the World Series, you beat the New York Yankees. Of course, that would be amazing.
Sure, that's magical.
But I don't care.
But you're saying if their playoff route was D-backs, Brewers, Rays, you're cool with the D-backs, Brewers, Rays title.
So beautiful.
How could you not be? Yeah, I agree.
It's so beautiful.
I agree. And the parade still is just as good of a parade.
Do you think there would be a lot of we're creating a new division because we want to find an easier path to get home, right?
Right.
Would most Padre fans be like, yeah, you're crazy? No, I definitely want to play. I want a division that has the Dodgers in it, the Giants in it.
70470 started with team. We got a few minutes if you want to react to that.
I think most people want them. They want that.
I think it would be pretty split. I think it would be pretty split.
Yeah.
I think there's some people who say, to be the best, you got to beat the best.
Yeah.
And they understand the rivalry and the series history. And others would say, you know what? Good riddance.
Yeah.
They've won every division for forever.
Yeah. I would say, I don't know if you heard the line. If you want to be the best, you got to avoid the best.
Yeah. There's that line.
I don't know if you've seen that line before, but.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation. Well, I remember, do you remember when we were younger? Brent will remember this.
Well, can I just say, it's just, they're so effing dominant, and baseball is not apples to apples. That's the issue. That's the only issue I have.
Right.
Like, if you told me if it was any other sport, of course, you still want to go through it all, but there's such a discrepancy that's my issue. My issue is more that.
And here's the thing. History doesn't remember that the Brewers switched leagues, that the Astros switched leagues. The Astros have won World Series 20 years ago. They were in the National League. So the Brewers were in the American League. So like, we're changing teams' leagues, then whatever. Like whatever it takes. Nobody's like, well, the Astros have won World Series, but they did it by changing leagues. If anything, the commentary on the Astros, they did it by cheating.
We should put this in MLB. We send an email to MLB.com.
It's MLB.com.
Just like an idea. With subject line, we'll say idea. And then we'll say, hey, this is what we're thinking.
When Major League Baseball expands to 32, when that happens, it'll be fascinating to see what the divisions are. Every division will have to change. So everything's getting ripped up. Yankees, Red Sox, what does that look like? Like, everything's going to be uncomfortable. Baseball is a sport of comfort. It's been around for a million years. It would really rock.
But the rivalry is Red Sox, Yankees.
Yep.
The rivalry truly is obviously Giants, Dodgers.
They would have to be in the same division.
Now, for us, okay, yeah, we might say the Dodgers are our rival, but we're not their rival.
Yep.
Which I'm okay with. So let's start a new rivalry with
the Diamondbacks, the Las Vegas Athletics.
I'm all in.
Yeah, I don't hate that. No, it's an interesting
My
conversation.
work done is here. My work here is done.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting conversation because the Padres haven't won a division in forever.
I think they were just set up like protected rivalries, like they did in college. When remember when Big Ten split into divisions? They're like, oh, but no matter what, Ohio State, Michigan are going to play every single year. Right. And it doesn't matter. Michigan State wasn't like, well, what about us in Michigan State? No, it doesn't matter. It's Ohio State and Michigan. So I think they would just, Red Sox, Yankees would be a protected rivalry. Giants, Dodgers, protected rivalry.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, I like that.
And our protected rivalry, like we said, is
the Athletics.
Diamondbacks.
Yeah, it's the Rockies.
It's a flip a coin. Whichever one you want. I'm good.
Yeah, that's hilarious. All right. So we've made it to Friday at 6 p.m. here, Alan. Week 2, basically in the books. Lots happened in these 2 weeks. We've gone to the moon.
We learned, are they out, by the way?
Out of the spacecraft? Or
they
whatever?
are? Okay.
Yeah, they're back.
They're
good.
They're good now?
They're like back,
Yeah, they're all safe.
They're like...
One of them's actually at Costco. They're already at
back
Costco.
To their normal lives. Like, that was fun. Remember when we went
to the grocery
The thing
list.
is, once you've done it, like, is anything really living up to it now?
John, this is so funny.
Like once you've done that, it's not the same when you get a new car.
They all got out and were like, what do the new City Connects look like?
Yeah, is it as nice now? Before you've been to the moon, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Those new Brewers jerseys are pretty cool. Those Padres.
What if the first thing he said when they got out, he's like, listen, I lost connection.
Yeah.
Right after they walked Machado.
Right. Did Bogaerts come through in that spot?
What happened in that situation?
I'd love to know their level of connectivity while they're out there. Like,
That's
are you
pretty
talking
cool.
to family or you emailing people?
Yeah.
All right, good
All right, buddy.
stuff. Let's
Good
do this
stuff.
again on Monday.
Thank you, everybody.
If you missed anything today, you can go to sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app or iTunes or TuneIn Radio or Spotify. Back Monday at 3 p.m. Enjoy this weekend. For Brent and Alan, I'm John. This is Schaefer and Sliwa right here on San Diego Sports 760.